you just like keep going to like weird shit. You're like, Murph, 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 where are you?
Let's just make it a sound effect.
I can do it generally. Everyone's like, that sounds like a pterodactyl, and I'm like, I am a pterodactyl, bitch. What are you talking about?
It squeaks. It makes me think of something my friend Sam said a couple years ago. Tweet, motherfucker.
Tweet.
It's like when this bird kept dive bombing people in this video. It's like, tweet, motherfucker.
That's hilarious.
But, what was it? Let me just...
Bring the gain.
Bring the gain
Bring
up.
all the gains.
Bring it up.
Have you ever seen the Hodge twins?
The Hodge twins?
There's these two twins on YouTube that used to do a bunch of like workout stuff, and they were both fit as shit. But they're nasty too. It's great because people would send in like, help me out, Hodge twins, what's going on? And so they'd be like, yeah, man, you gonna come around there and I'm like, sweet girl, man. See, yeah, and sometimes you gotta just get in there. Sometimes you gotta just like fill up and bust some nuts, man. You gotta let that cream cheese spill out. Yeah. Get inside them sweet walls. And and like they would go on for forever. And so I love this.
It's slightly unsettling.
It's very unsettling. Oh my god.
There's this other guy. I think he's like part of like a British show or something. But like my friend Cliff showed me this part or like this clip one time where it's this guy and he's like stirring. He's cooking some meat on the grill.
Yeah.
And he goes like, yes, this spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
Oh god.
And like he gives this like rape stare to the camera, and I'm just like, oh no. So now whenever like he just wants to creep me out, he just sends me.
Nice.
Well, since you've now spoken to him.
Yeah.
But
there's also this one. The one of the things they do is like they'll like get in the camera, like they're fucking the camera, like, ew, and they look wild, and they're like, oh, you just pull out and you just spray it down. And like, whoa, shit, man. I'm gonna give it a zucchini.
Which I cooked tonight.
Yes, Matt made some zucchini, pork, and rice. What was the sauce called? The sauce was really good.
Thyme pork or something like that. It's a HelloFresh recipe. I just had the good thing with like HelloFresh is I don't know about other meal subscription shit. We don't do it anymore, but you get the recipe cards and they're still good. It tells you the amounts and shit.
Nice.
The only thing is some of the ingredients are easier to find than others. And,
gotcha. Well, I love, as I was eating the pork, I was like, I feel like I'm in Minecraft eating a pork chop. It was great. Living that Minecraft life, y'all.
It was a block, too. It was a literal
little block.
And Jeremiah just turned into this pixelated block man eating it. Yeah. Well, I have
think that's
to...
the sound effect.
Where is that? I have to throw something in... Oh, yeah, here we go. So, I have sake here, which Jeremiah's never tried, and which I've been drinking, and
What's got that sake?
I'm going to pour some.
All right.
And if you don't mind how it smells, because it's strong.
No, it's fine. What's your alcohol content?
15%.
Oh,
I'll give you a little bit, and we'll see.
Just a little bit.
All right, smell that. I told you, it's strong. And I'm going to pour myself some as well.
It's not bad.
I like it.
It smells like grape. Like, it literally smells like fermented grapes.
It does. I like it because...
But it's made out of rice, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's like, it's from what I understand, it's like rice vodka, and I'm sure we've got like 15 viewers who are screaming at their fucking...
No, it's not.
No, it's not, you stupid bastard.
Oh, yeah, so I forgot to tell you,
yes.
Before we get really started, so we had our run-through or whatever for the scene with Karina and Spencer this past weekend. So I had to pull an Andy Serkis and play two characters at once.
Hell yeah.
It kind of worked out, though, because I'm not on camera. They just kind of have to react. So I'm playing the one character who recognizes Karina's character as a certain something. Nice. I'm not going to say. But basically, I had to play off of him and then the manager at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I did my normal voice for Ian because it just made sense. But when I had to do Eric, I was just like, fuck, what do I do? And it's just like, well, my friend Eric, who hopefully will actually be playing Eric in the movie, he's from Boston. He doesn't really have a strong accent, but you can hear it on certain words. So I just said, fuck it, I'm going to just lean into that. And I just started doing a Bill Burr impression.
Nice.
It's like, what the fuck is the matter with you?
Nice.
The whole goddamn restaurant can hear this crap. I just turned to Bill Burr. I found out, like, when I try to do accents, it's not so much me trying to do accents as I'm just doing impressions of people that have accents.
Yeah, that's generally, like, whenever I do the African thing now, I just think of, I start off with, the power of the Black Panther has been taken away. And then from there, it's just like, all right, I'm that dude. So it's like, I saw Alita the Battle Angel the other day, and it was one of the sweetest things I had seen.
Have you actually seen it?
No, I've not. I need to. I really want to watch it.
You got my hopes on.
I don't know.
Alita on my desk,
I know.
dude.
I was looking at the poster. I was like, what do I say? And so I just looked at the poster. I was like, Alita in IMAX was one of the most beautiful things that I've seen. And I continued to see all of the things that was given to us from the manga all the way into the film. It was such a beautiful sight that I must go and collect every single piece of source material and art and be gone. Yeah, and it's just like I start off with that. And I just go with it.
This is the thing. Like particularly when we're playing Conan, because Conan gets.
Ooh, this is definitely not. So I just sipped the sake for the first time. I do. I thought it was gonna be like stronger. It's very like dry.
It is.
It's not a bad dry. I just didn't. From the smell, I thought it was gonna have like almost like a sparkling taste.
Nah,
because
you can have some. It depends on what you get. Like sometimes you can get like restaurant quality stuff that's like more sweet. Typically, they actually serve it warm. I don't like it warm personally. So basically, all of our Asian viewers or listeners probably hate me right now. But hey, I'm just saying it. Anyway, but yeah, when we were playing Conan, you go into the voice.
I did.
Stay in the voice.
I stayed. My name is Jerome, and I wander through the land of Conan, and we see many monsters. I see like that like the tail end of some things gets weird, but where were we at? We go to the Tower of the Bat, and we try to kill the thing many times.
We have killed it many.
We have killed it at least 4, but the portal does not open. So I must ask myself, is there something wrong with the game, or is there something wrong with me? And now I am done with this fucking game because I've done what I can, and I say move on to what is better, or find hope and peacefulness within yourself.
See, what I love most about when you do that is you just go into storyteller mode.
Yeah,
and it's really it kind of, I don't know, it just makes me think of like I don't know, it just makes me think of like scenes in like, you know, fantasy movies growing up where it's just like, come children, come around. Let me tell you the story.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Revi, and she was a shocking redhead, but even more shocking were her guns. And I do not mean her titties. I mean the guns that she carries to kill people. Cutlass is the name of one or both? Both are cutlass. And cutlass is a magnificent piece of metal that shines every time the trigger is pulled.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Like a diamond as you die. Shine bright as a diamond as you die. That is one of the things she loves to say. Revi was a wonderful woman. Wonderful woman.
I could the weird thing is I could just like listen to you like go in.
I want to record like a short story. Like if I went online and then like record a short story. And then I want to do a short story. I'm gonna record it and it's gonna be real good. And then make sure I can save it. It'll be great. So I'm gonna do that sometime. I don't know when.
You gonna do it at some point. That's all that matters.
At some point, that's all that matters. Do you know any good short stories I should find?
No joke. I think I mentioned this to you a while ago. I am writing a short story.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I don't know if it needs the Black Panther.
It does.
I would like you to actually read it.
Yeah, I don't even need to do a voice. Like I just want to read more and like record more with my voice.
You like it. It's very much like kind of the guy like the man against the elements kind of thing.
Okay,
it's not like The Gray or like like Into the Wild. It's just basically I have it where it's like.
It's Conan, the video game.
Pretty much. No, but it's about a guy kind of like overcoming his personal demons, and he's like literally like hiking somewhere too, so it kind of mixes between the two.
Very cool.
I will send it to you at some point.
I should read.
What? But before I forget, and because
wait, welcome to Common Sense, y'all. Or 2 cents. Welcome to 2 cents. Common Sense, 2 cents. God, the song hasn't even hit me yet.
That's what's scary.
No, I had a shot before I left work, so. We generally, like, most days that we have, like, long castings, we'll all go and get a shot together. Like, we just walk to the kitchen. I don't know why I said go together, but, like, we'll walk to the kitchen. And, like, because people give us, like, alcohol all the time. So we have, like, Savannah. We have this really nice bourbon from this, like, brewery from over here.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like, it's funny you mentioned that because, like, my first night working on Love Simon, like, we shot from, like, the afternoon until probably, like, 2 in the morning. And I was, like... my first time working locations. I'm like, fuck. And Brandon, my buddy who I met on that day, he's just like, there's Taco Mac like right next to the location.
Yeah, I love
we shot at the Tongue and Groove.
Yeah,
and it's just like, he just looks at Kenny, the other guy, locations guy we're working with. It's like, we're gonna get him a beer.
Nice.
And so we went. We got some appetizers and a drink and everything, and it was awesome because it's just like, especially after a long haul that, you just need that.
Yeah.
Like Nick Offerman talks about, like in one of his books, how it's like there's nothing sweeter than the first Corona at the end of the day. I'm not a Corona guy, but I respect the thought.
Yeah.
But what was it? I have an interesting, even though we've kind of been going for a little bit now, I have a surprise topic for you.
Oh, yes, you did tell me this. You texted me. Matt texted me. He's like, I got a surprise topic. I was like, I'll come with some more. And I didn't because work. But I'm excited.
Life has been crazy for
both of us. It's been a little bit hectic.
I saw a movie yesterday.
Wait. Have I seen it?
Far From Home.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
What?
I loved it. And with all the Spider-Man controversy, which we're obviously going to dive into.
We're definitely going to talk about that, yeah.
I thought, well, I need to see this.
Mm-hmm.
I was very pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed it. Yeah. I think it felt more like a Spider-Man movie than the first one.
Yes, absolutely. That's why.
The first one was, like you said, Disney Channel bullshit, it had its great moments.
Yeah, it definitely had moments.
One of my favorite bits is when, like, motherfuckers, like running through a golf course after the fucking like party, and he can't find a thing to swing on. He's just like, shit. Yeah. And the sprinklers come on.
You're like, oh,
I like that it shows like the flaws in Spider-Man in terms of like how he actually can work.
Yeah.
But I thought it was much better.
I actually know how you could like potentially do that. So if you play
the video game,
I was gonna say, if you played Spider-Man 2 on freaking GameCube, if you hold your charge jump and you like launch yourself forward, that bitch can like hit a web sideways, and then the momentum would get him to swing, like he would swing diagonally almost. So it'd almost be like George of the Jungle, but he would go like this and then like this.
Now I just want Spider-Man to run into a tree and there's like a Looney Tunes cutout of his shape. But yeah, I saw it and I was very pleasantly surprised by it. Mysterio was the best part.
He was really good. I will say with the Spider-Man movies, the villains have been really legit.
Yeah, like the Vulture was great.
Vulture's amazing. Yeah.
Like, for what I feel like they've lacked in terms of the Spider-Man department, they definitely brought to the table with the villains. Mm-hmm. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was amazing.
Yes.
I thought they were just going to be like, okay, we're just doing our own thing because they wanted to get away from the original origin, and then spoilers. They totally did the whole, like, he's, like, an illusionist and an actor and, like, all that stuff. And they did it so cleverly. I liked how they wove in that he was, like Stark-related.
Yes.
I have one issue with it.
Yes, go ahead.
I hated the scene. I understand why they had to do it, and I'm sure in terms of time constraints, like, we have to get all this exposition out, but we don't know what other way. When they're all sitting in the bar immediately after Peter leaves, and he just goes on this 5-minute anime monologue where he over-explains everything. I'm just like... You couldn't just show me?
I will say I enjoyed it for the monologue, and I enjoyed it to see like everybody's backstory. Like I definitely get that, but I definitely see it's a bit much because
it felt like an anime. It felt like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
See, my little brother's. I literally have never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. My little brother talks about it all the time. So
I just started watching it.
I just went home and he was like showing me some stuff. We were watching YouTube again. The dude was doing like the tiers, like this is S tier and all that stuff, and he was just joking around with all this stuff. But like I saw the character designs, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he was like, it's bizarre. He's like, it's JoJo Bizarre Adventures. And I was like, oh, I get that. But he also was like, he's like, the Japanese guy who wrote it makes everybody look gay, especially the French people, because he thinks all the French dudes are fags. I was like, well, shit. Well, shit.
Yeah, it's funny because they're like, I'm definitely getting a lot of gay undertones from it.
Oh, my God.
I want to watch it because I saw this compilation of like what was called Ingerish. And it's basically like all the times we're like, oh my God, holy shit! I want to say it just because I'm just thinking like there's a Futurama episode where basically they spoof like Iron Chef and it's called Iron Cook, and they've got this like overwhelmingly like stereotypical like Japanese dude who's like the kind of like the host. Mm-hmm. He's like, Iron Cookery.
I love those. Like, I love that. Those are hilarious.
It's just like, I mean, the race stuff aside, it's just a funny voice.
It's funny voice, like, and I love the over enunciation is what makes it great.
Well, I mean, and this is a little thing where we can get this out of the way and then go back into Spider-Man. Yeah. We were just watching Black Lagoon, which I want to add. We didn't get it through our 3 because we both have had a crazy week, and we are actually recording this like about 6-7 days, or not 7 days. Saki's hitting me, not him. But basically, a little over a week after we record the episode that has just released.
So we generally do like 2 weeks in between.
Yeah.
That way we have time with our busy schedules to watch the different episodes and whatever else we got going on in life.
Unfortunately, it's just the case where I'm actually going out of town next week, and long story short,
I'm going out of town every week.
You were just traveling the fucking globe around the world in 80 days. But we're busy, and it was just like, hey, let's see if we can scoot this one in, and especially with all the Spider-Man shit, we had to talk about it.
Let's definitely talk about it.
So, but with Black Lagoon, we were just watching that, and literally, I love the opening theme song. It's on my fucking phone, but it's the definition of angerish.
I think that's true. I would say
it's awesome, but it's
amazing. But yeah, definitely. I was reading the lyrics a little bit earlier. Actually, I'm going to pull them up right now, and then I might get real racist and do some. This is why you shouldn't drink and do a podcast.
This is why we have this beautiful tool called editing.
Editing, yeah. Yes. So I'm going to try and not make it racist. Black Lagoon.
Well, you kind of already threw me under the bus.
Oh, shit. All right. If you want to throw me under the bus, that's good.
I'm not throwing you under the bus.
You can. It's okay. I'm black. I have an immunity at some point. I think. I don't know. I mean...
Would you like more sake?
Yeah. I was like, I have immunity. And then I was like, well, Bill Cosby and R. Kelly didn't have immunity, so, fuck it.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Let's see. Black Lagoon.
I wanted to ask you...
intro lyrics, yeah.
With this episode, because basically we finished up Roberta's first arc.
Yes, because I love her.
And this is perhaps like a question. Okay, I'm going to ask you this now, and then I want us to revisit this once we watch the Blood Trail episodes. I love the relationship between her and Garcia, and I know last time we talked about how it doesn't seem inherently romantic, and I'm not saying it seems romantic now, but I feel like the seeds of romance are there.
Well, I think you also have to look at he's a boy that he's what 12, 13?
Yeah.
So he has
preteen.
He's a preteen, but he's also like he's about to hit puberty and shit like that. So like I think he's like in that last scene he's like all up in her titties and he's like, no, Roberta, no. And you're like, bro, calm down, do that. That's real good.
You know what's funny is I think it's Ray Hiro who did the manga. He actually did a piece of artwork that is literally all the female characters of Black Lagoon, and it has is showing the different breast sizes.
Nice.
Like it's like they're standing at the fucking usual suspects line up.
Yeah.
But they're to the side, and it's just really funny because you see the different characters, and he has what size they are, and I just thought it was. I mean,
I need that for
it's probably a little wrong. Yeah, it's probably a little wrong, but it's I think it's kind of funny the fact that it's he actually went through the trouble of really figuring out who's who.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're sitting there like pinup girls. They're literally standing there with their bras on in the police lineup. The funny thing is they have it's going from smallest to biggest. Revy and Roberta are some of the bigger ones.
Really?
But what's funny is
the
one that's the biggest that they are not showing is the fucking nun from the fucking rip-off church. The old one.
I was going to say the old one. Definitely not the younger one.
Not Edda.
Yeah, not Edda, but the older. It had to be Jesus.
Oh, God. It was so funny. Fuck it. Let me see.
I'm trying to pull it up right now. Black Lagoon.
But the reason I mentioned the romantic thing is just because they just have such a tight bond that I could see it being one of those things where even though there's a huge age difference, especially spoilers, for Roberta's blood trail and he's kind of taking care of her, I could definitely see that kind of, I don't want to say festering, that implies negativity, I feel like, but I feel like that could definitely turn into something. You found the picture, didn't you?
I did. Damn, you can tell by the look at my face. I was like, yeah. We sprayed good.
Yep.
Nice.
But isn't that funny, the fucking what's-her-face?
Yeah. Who's this big lady right in front of me?
I don't know. I mean, I read the manga, probably.
Okay, so this is also going for the manga. Gotcha.
Oh, definitely. This is, probably pulling...
Because I was like, some of these characters I don't know.
Well, let me see. I'm trying to see if the Japanese girl who's in the... Okay, yeah. That one right there, the one after Sawyer, she's in volume 10, which is the first time where the manga is actually ahead of where the anime was.
Okay.
You're welcome to borrow that if you want.
Yeah.
It's a very quick read, but it's good.
Sweet.
And that's thankfully where volume 11, which comes out in Japan in September, and then here in the U.S. in January, is picking up. And from what I've heard, it's not going to be that and then another hiatus. He's going to keep going for a while because That last
How long
one
has
came,
it? Yeah, I was gonna
the last
ask.
one came out, I want to say, in like 2014.
Oh wow.
So yeah, well the thing is, Hyro draws a lot of artwork for a lot of other shit.
Okay.
And so it's just like, he basically gets bogged down with that. But what I like about him is he just seems like one of us, and he's just a big dork like us. But he's just like, I'm gonna draw this comic. I'm gonna have fun with
this. This is what I like to do. Let me do what I like.
He's a really nice guy too.
Nice.
And if I've said this already, and I'm just like name dropping, so be it. But I did a picture of Revy. It's just like a bust shot, from the neck up, and it's basically her with one of the Roberta's maid costumes on, and she's just got this angry blush going on, and I tweeted that to him, and he liked it.
Nice. What?
But no, he's a really nice guy. And people tweet him questions and stuff, and he'll answer them.
See, I need to get on the Twitterverse. I need to do that.
Twitter.
I have it, but I don't use it like I need to. I've done the I did a action figure photo of
I'm putting
Spider-Man
some of those
comics.
fucking pictures.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna post them on Instagram at some point, but I'll send them. I already sent them to you, so yeah, you can definitely post some of those.
I still there's one, y'all. There's one he did where it's Spider-Man fighting Scorpion.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is balanced on one fucking hand, and I immediately texted him how in God's name did you do that?
No, so it was fun because I was I just got Scorpion this past 2 weekends ago, so he's got a really sturdy tail.
Is it bendy?
It is bendy. So the Marvel Legends Doc Ock that just came out this year, his arms are bendy, but they are also super sturdy, so they always go back into place.
And they're really short, honestly.
So 2 are short, 2 are long.
That's
but
right.
What a lot of people that do customs they've been able to take some type of, I think it's some type of light piece that you can get off of Amazon for $10, or you get several of those and you can change his tentacles, and they actually work, especially for posing and doing photos. So I need to do that at some point. I just haven't done it yet. But with Scorpion's tail, it's sturdy as shit, and then he has his little viper, little stingy thing at the end.
Yeah.
So I wanted that in the picture, but at the same time, with the way that I angled the shot, I also couldn't get it in because I needed Peter to
You couldn't get it in?
I couldn't get it. I needed Peter to hold on to it so that he would balance himself.
Yeah.
And that figure I've had that figure for a while. I'm kind of getting scared because I pose him so much. I might need to get a new figure, Spider-Man.
Because of the joints.
So if anyone wants to send me a Marvel Legends Spider-Man with the pizza, send that to me.
Yeah, just message us on Facebook. Yeah. We'll get you a P.O. box and all that.
Or send me money because my birthday is next month. So my Venmo is at Parkourgy, PARKOURG33K, because I'm a charity that you should be giving to, not anybody on Facebook.
It's any opportunity to plug this man.
Yeah,
plugs.
I will plug the shit out of everything.
I will plug.
Hey,
I went from Shatner.
I was you went to Shatner to Christopher Walken. I
had this watch in my ass for 5 years.
I was excited because I was all right, we're going Captain Kirk, and then we went straight to that. I was that's fine too. Wait, what?
You didn't see me fucking playing with this for the past
5
minutes?
So no, I have not. I've noticed.
You've seen this figure.
I've noticed the guns, but I thought it was a statue. Where did you, what?
Yeah, okay, so what Jeremiah is drooling over is I have a Rebel Tech figure of Revy from Black Lagoon.
It's I love fully posable figures.
I actually got this as my first paycheck from the movie theater.
Nice.
My second paycheck is Black Widow, which is sitting in the case right now.
Okay.
But, I wanted a Revy figure so goddamn badly, and it was before I could find that statue that's sitting right over there for cheap.
Nice.
This one. But, yeah, and it's posable. The only thing, and I will warn you before you...
Yes, please do.
It's very frail.
Okay.
Basically, I think it's... Hold on, let me check I think it's this hand right here does not move because I broke it. And I had to break it. Because the joints are fucking weird, and I'm used to Marvel Legends. See how it rotates like that?
Mm.
I didn't really understand that when I did it, and it snapped off. So, and then it's... Basically, the articulation is really weird on this one.
I was gonna say you can see the lining and you can tell the.
Just be very careful.
Very gentle. This is crazy.
Time. But yeah, what I want is a 6-inch scale. Obviously, if I had something like this statue here that was posable, I would flip shit. Just Marvel or Hasbro, whoever does these badass figures, who's doing it for Marvel and Star Wars, give me a Revy. Not one that's gonna break. I have a Figma of Mikasa from Attack on Titan. I love it, really? But I think one of the parts broke on that.
So you say
it's just really thin plastic.
You say Mikasa? I actually have never heard her name.
You hear Mikasa?
I like to say
Mikasa! Because that's how it's said in the entire goddamn show.
Mikasa! I love how they scream it. It's just amazing.
Well, at least it's
motivated. It makes sense though. Like, yeah.
But yeah, no, I say Mikasa because I watched the Japanese dub. And that's how at least it was said. Like everybody who's like Mikasa, I'm like Mikase Sukasa cabron. But yeah, no, they made one of her. I got pretty cheap actually. That's one of the perks of like having to wait a month for it to come over here from China.
Yeah.
But they're really well made. They're really well articulated, but the plastic is just very frail. So you have to be very careful with it. But yeah, and then she's got her cutlasses. She came with an alternate head where she's got like her ponytail undone.
Oh, nice.
And then she's got fuck it. Let me go grab the thing. It's right over here. But so tell me your thoughts of Homecoming.
No, Far From Home. Homecoming, I don't particularly care for, other than all the Vulture stuff. I think Peter Parker's a bitch in Homecoming. He's a little Disney child bitch. He is he's cool. I think he's a great Peter Parker. I just don't like how they're writing Peter Parker in Homecoming. Yeah,
my issue is not with Tom Holland.
Yeah, it's not with Tom Holland. It's just
I think he shined.
I think he's amazing. One. Yeah. But with Far From Home, you get him. He watched his mentor die. That's crazy. So I feel like they didn't go in as much as deep as I would have liked to, or as heartbreaking as that can be, because watching someone you love die. But I think what they did was pretty well done. It also is a PG-13 Spider-Man movie. It's not like the Punisher watched his family die and now you have to watch him cry for 5 minutes and then jerk off in his tears. That's not what it is.
Real quick, can I get you to smile behind Revy here?
I was like, do I just smile?
Just smile and be proud of your work. Let me see. 1, and then let me shift the focus to you, and then 2. Okay, I hope my camera didn't fuck up. And of course, I'm doing this on my phone, which is also recording the backup of our podcast, which probably isn't the smartest thing in the world, but I don't care.
But it's a cell phone. Most things can do multitasking at this point in reality. Hopefully. Or is that just my dreams? I don't know.
Who knows? But that's the beauty of things. This is just But
Far From Home I really enjoyed. I love Mysterio. I really thought what they did was great with him. Most of the movie I thought he was going to be good, and I was like, this is weird. Who's going to be the bad guy? All that stuff.
They make it clear.
They did, yeah, and I'm glad they did what they did. What else? The one thing I thought was weird was the what's his name? Samuel Jackson being a clone or being a Skrull. I was like, that's weird, but I'm okay with that.
Wait, Sam Jackson's a Skrull.
Did you watch all the end credits?
Okay, so I have to cut this part out. The version I saw is basically it cut off right when the credits started rolling. I did manage to find the J. Jonah Jameson thing, which I had to see, which made me very happy, but I'm also kind of angry at it. But tell me what your issue is with or tell me about the Samuel L. Jackson.
So at the very last end credits scene, you see Maria Hill and Sam Jackson. They're driving a car, and they change to the Skrulls that were in
Captain Marvel.
Yes. So I think they tell you how long Sam Jackson has been a Skrull. The real Sam Jackson is in space. He's in space on a ship, just chilling like a motherfucker.
Oh,
and I'm
real?
Dope. But
I don't know how I feel about that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. To me, it kind of devalues.
Is it he has the Skrull been the one that's doing the whole Avengers?
I don't remember that. I don't know. I do not know. They definitely tell you how long he's been a Skrull, or how long Sam Jackson's been, or that Skrull has been impersonating Sam Jackson. But they're working together, so it's not
it's not just
totally
one dude.
Yeah, he's not I'm trying to get in on S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. He was let me call up Sam Jackson because we just finished some shit, and so Sam's like, what's up, chilling in this.
So he runs shit by him before.
Yeah, okay. He's not. Yeah, it's Sam Jackson is up in space telling this Skrull to do stuff as him. So
That's better.
Yeah, it's better. I'm not mad about it, but it is weird. I need to go back and watch that scene because I don't remember what they said, because I don't want. I think it kind of devalues Nick Fury, Sam Jackson, Nick Fury.
That's not the first time Marvel's undercut things.
Yeah,
and it bothers me when they do that.
Yeah,
that's weird. Yeah, because the only post credits I saw was the J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay, well I will say I did enjoy the movie. I don't have much to say about it. I mean, like, it's still not one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, but I think it was really good. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, my biggest problem.
I just need him to
step up.
I need him to stop being a little bitch teenager, and he's not a bitch teenager, but I'm just like, I'm sick of watching teenager shit. That's why I saw Good Boys this past weekend. It was really good. I enjoyed it. We'll jump to that later.
I do want to add one note with Mysterio.
And then let's talk about the whole MCU stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
One note with Mysterio that I really liked is like when he did the whole like. I love that everything was like a simulation, a hologram. I like that played into Civil War, but I really liked how they went full like Arkham Asylum like Scarecrow bullshit with it. I've never seen that was my biggest problem with the last one is I'm not seeing anything I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Where this I have never seen someone do that on film. The closest thing I've seen is Rey's like kind of Force vision trippy bit in The Force Awakens, which was cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as like kind of visceral as this, where it's just like it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shit going on. Like I loved at the very end when he has to take him down.
Yes.
And it's just like it's like everything's black and it's a long hallway.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you though.
Yes.
So Mysterio very much, spoiler, dies.
Yes, very much so.
Did he kill himself? Like what the fuck? I totally like. I don't know if it was the quality I was watching.
No, I don't. I was not under the influence when I saw this movie, so I don't know why I don't remember much of it. Maybe I was. I don't remember.
Maybe it's not that memorable.
No, I will say no. It's definitely to me like the Spider-Man movies are not that memorable, like the newer ones.
Yeah,
like they're good, but it's not like oh my gosh, I want to pop this in. Like I might pop in Spider-Man 2 tonight, or like I might pop in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like even Amazing Spider-Man 2, as much shit as that gets, I would still watch that. Yeah, it's rewatchable because you're like, there's just so much going on in this bitch. But I think he either shot himself or somehow the gun went off.
Because
he was on the ground. He was on the ground. He was faux handing Peter the sunglasses.
No. And then it turns out it's a hologram. And he's got a gun pointed at Peter.
Right.
And Peter's Spidey sense.
Fucking finally.
Why can't they just call it Spidey sense? Like, okay, the joke was cute at first when it's coming from Aunt May.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know.
Gee, I don't remember how he died. I think he shot himself because I think what happened was he was like, I'm gonna kill myself, but I'm gonna like release the video at the end with like the J. Jonah Jameson stuff, and
I have a huge problem with that.
I'll be a modder. So go ahead.
I love that J.K. Simmons is back as J. Jonah. The hair wasn't the same, but I'll go with it. I'll go with it. Yeah, I saw. There's two issues I have with it. I don't like that they're basically treating fucking Daily Bugle as like it's like Alex Jones.
I think that's hilarious though.
I don't like that.
I like that.
But the Daily Bugle, it's like there's too much like okay. I liked how they did it better in the video game.
Okay,
where it's like okay, yeah, he's kind of
a podcast and he's
it's a podcast, but it's still like it's still part of the. It's like a newspaper that's like an outlet of it,
right? Where
it just sounds like this. They're doing the whole like Alex Jones thing. I'm like okay, but like Jay Jonas, like he's one of his fucking kids is an astronaut.
Yes, So the reason why I'm okay with it is because they are they're modernizing Spider-Man.
Sure.
I get that. I don't think he's going to be as crazy, Alex Jones.
I don't want him to be a nut job. Like, he can be kind of crazy, because he's kind of crazy. But I don't want him to be fucking Alex Jones.
I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to follow through with that full force. I don't think it's going to be, like, ham-fisted or anything. But I think that's cool, because, like, I think Alex Jones is, like, really interesting. Like, just, like, he's wild and crazy and shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying, man? Like, this is some dumb shit.
To me, I feel like, those, like, magazines, or those, like, old newspaper magazines?
Oh, he's literally one of those old, like, magazine tabloids.
Like, the National Enquirer that you see at the grocery store.
That is literally
He's literally that as a person.
Yeah, that's what he is. And so I think that's cool, at least, like, so let's say we get, with the whole MCU stuff of Spider-Man, like, goes well for everyone. Let's say he stays in different movies and he pops in, and so like that would be cool because you have all this crazy like space stuff because we're about to do a lot of space stuff, and you have space stuff that happens, and he'll be on like he's like the Skrulls are coming to America like because they're gonna come and kill us all and stuff like that would be cool because it's like and people are like no Skrulls aren't coming down here like what are you crazy
and the Skrulls aren't bad guys
right and I don't like that. I really don't like that. That frustrates me. Because the Secret Invasion, like...
Okay,
oh my god.
Let me just... coming at this purely as someone who, I'd be willing to say 95% of my Marvel knowledge comes from the movies, and then 5% from the comic books and shit. I really enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. They kind of flipped it around.
I thought it was neat.
I thought it was cool. It's funny because I like this for the same reason that people like the fucking Mandarin bullshit, but I still think it's fucking horseshit.
Yeah.
But, I really liked it too because it was just like Ben Mendelsohn always plays a bad guy.
Yes.
He's great at it. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But I really like seeing that kind of get flipped. And he's not just a good guy, but he has a purpose.
Yes.
And I like the idea of like them kind of like, I don't know, I thought it was an interesting take, but I also understand that that's probably something that really pisses people off, considering there's a whole thing that goes on
freaking giant that changed the Marvel Universe because like it changed the Marvel Universe, like the Secret War, or no, that's not Secret Wars. I just said it like 2 minutes ago. Secret Invasion, like that, like
because that's when the Skrulls are infiltrating.
That's when the Skrulls are infiltrating, and they're becoming like they imitate all the other superheroes and stuff like that. So like I think that was a really great storyline. I didn't read much of it. Secret Invasion.
Wars.
Secret Wars is when Cap is like, "I'm Hydra, bitches."
I love the spoiler. Yeah. I love the nod to that in Endgame.
Yes.
Elevator.
I thought that was great.
Oh.
I thought that was like really, really smart. I was like, they acknowledged it and they like threw it away really quick. And
well, it shows how clever. It shows how clever Cap is and that he's gonna roll with shit. And then he also gets to admire his own ass in the movie. Please tell me you've seen the GIF where it's him from like I think it's like Not Another Teen Movie.
Ooh, no, I definitely
haven't.
haven't.
I'll have to find it and send it to you. But it's basically like he's like the douchebag jock in the movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I just know from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And it's basically the GIF is like I'm assuming in the movie he goes up. It's like a framed photo of him like winning the championship or something for the high school, and he's just smug as fuck about it.
Yeah.
So what they did was they have two girls looking at it, and they're going like ooh, and then like they see him coming and they back up, and he goes and walks up to the photo, and it's a photo of him unconscious on the ground in the Avengers tower from the movie.
Nice.
And it's his ass very clearly in focus, and he's just got this smug like yeah, and he just walks away. It's so goddamn funny.
That's hilarious.
But sorry, you were saying.
No, I will not talk about Secret Invasion a lot because I don't know much about it. I don't know where I get a lot of my Marvel knowledge from, which is crazy because I know a lot about the Marvel Universe.
YouTube videos, or you just hear about it?
Well, YouTube videos within the last year, but like before that, like watching the 90s Spider-Man cartoon and then like reading some stuff.
It's amazing how accurate that shit was.
Right, which is like what's crazy because like I don't want to talk about stuff sometimes because I'm like I didn't read the comics, I don't know like everything, but I did read Secret Wars. I did read Secret Wars. That was really good. It's actually really good, especially whenever not spoilers, it's comics. Freaking Hawkeye has to kill Hulk. Like that shit was wild.
What?
That shit was wild.
Okay, so this is the thing I love about comics versus like the movies and stuff. Obviously with the movies you have to have it kind of streamlined and it has to be they have to be basically be like, okay, we can't do 15 different things for this. Yeah. We have to stick with 1 or 2 things at the most. You read Oldman Logan, right?
Just the movie.
Okay, the movie's nothing like the comic, and I don't mean that like as a takeaway. Yeah. I mean, I've got the poster up there. It's one of my it's the best X-Men movie in my opinion.
Absolutely. Hands down.
In the comic, this is actually I know you're on the fence with Mark Millar.
Yeah.
This is one of his best.
Okay.
Basically, think like Clint Eastwood spaghetti western, but it's Wolverine.
Nice.
And it's post-apocalyptic. It's not like in the movie where it's like, okay, some shit's happened. It's like, no, it's like fucking Mad Max bullshit.
Nice.
He teams up with Hawkeye, and the whole thing is basically the Hulk's family, like the family of Hulks. Yeah. It's basically like Bruce Banner's kids, and they're fucking insane. It's like fucking Immortan Joe and Fury Road.
Nice.
And it's basically like they are threatening to kill Wolverine's family because he has like a wife and kids now. He's gray and shit, and he's threatening to. They're basically the Hulks are threatening to kill them because they basically it's basically like a racket money like you see in like The Godfather. And shit.
Okay.
And so basically they have to pay protection or whatever. So he basically has to go pull this crazy like mission with Hawkeye, who is blind by the way, and is driving a fucking Jeep the entire time. And they basically have to go. I can't remember the exact mission because it's been a couple of years and I'm drinking. But basically they have to go do this crazy ass mission. Red Skull and Ultron are a part of the whole thing. It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
And I won't tell you how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gut punch. But it's bittersweet.
Okay.
It's the Logan tone wise definitely pulled from that, but
nice.
It's like it's so fucking awesome. But it's just cool because it's like I love when they take like they kind of do alternate universe takes on things. Yes. Like one of my favorite DC comics is Superman Red Sun, where the whole have you read that?
I've not. The
whole thing is basically if Superman's like ship, like when his parents like deployed him from Krypton before the planet exploded. If it landed an hour or two later and it landed in fucking Russia.
Oh, okay.
It's so fucking like, so he grows up. He is Soviet Superman.
Yeah.
And there's Soviet Batman. And Wonder Woman's still Greek, but she works for the Soviets. It's basically a Cold War version of like the DC mythos.
Dude, that's what's up.
And like, okay, this is the best part. Batman, and they told. Okay, you remember in Batman v Superman how he's in like the trench coat and the whole Mad Max garb? They totally like borrowed that from Red Son.
Okay.
Basically, Russian Batman is basically like, we have to overthrow the Soviet government, and it's like
snap.
he's got like one of those like fur hats and everything. It's all about he's leading the revolution and shit. It's fucking amazing.
Nice.
And Superman's like very much like he's the government lackey, but it's like he thinks he's doing the right thing because they're feeding him all the propaganda and bullshit. It's such a great read. I think Mark Millar actually wrote that.
Really
too.
nice.
So it's like it's funny because it's like, I didn't mind Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass 2, I like the movie better than the book.
I feel like Kick-Ass movies are always better than... Like, that's one of the times where I'm like, the movies are definitely better than the comics.
Yeah.
And, like, I get that people are like, the comics are super fucked up and it's supposed to be realistic and stuff like that, and I get it. Like,
it's
I
too
get
much.
that. But it's too much. Like, motherfucker, it's too much.
You read
like,
Kick-Ass 2, right?
I read 1 and 2, I think, and I didn't read 3.
I didn't like the whole, like, his ex-girlfriend in Kick-Ass 2 is sending him pics of her fucking sucking another dude's dick.
Like,
it's like, yeah, the realism, but it's like,
but
I really liked what they did in the movie better, because it's not that, I can't remember, I haven't seen it since I saw it in theater.
well, like, I remember in the comic, the whole rape thing was, like,
that
super fucked up. It was super fucked up.
I truly believe, like, with rape, it's like, you don't bring that into a story unless it absolutely needs to, or actually absolutely serves the story for a greater purpose. But if you're just going to throw it in there to be gratuitous,
and that's,
I fucking hate it.
That's why I don't like Mark Millar, especially in those books, is because I feel like he just does shit just to shock you. And it's not shocking, it's just like, fucking what, man? Like, I've seen some fucked up shit, but I'm not like, throw it in here now.
Yeah. It's like doing it just for the sake of
doing it. And you're like, motherfucker. Like,
it has to have some sort of effectiveness. I've got Red Son. I'm gonna send you with that when we go. It's I think it's Mark Millar. If it is, it's like, that's definitely like, that's how it should be. Like I feel like he kind of did the whole thing like with like what Grant Morrison and Frank Miller do when they get a hold of like the DC characters. It's like, I'm gonna tell a story I've always wanted to see.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, and there's gonna be all this fucked up shit in it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, let me tell like an actual really cognitive, good, interesting take. Like, I never would have thought, oh yeah, let's see what it would have been like if fucking Superman ship crashed in Soviet Russia. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's a big part of Dark Knight Returns, is like, he's kind of the government's lackey, and that's when it's America and shit. It's just like, well, I'm still not crazy about this, but it's like, okay, well, it's America at least, but then it's just like, no, he is Soviet. Like, he has a fucking sickle and hammer on his shield.
Yeah, I've seen
It's like,
that.
what?
There's a question I was going to ask regarding that. I don't remember what it was, because it had to do with Batman.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Saki, fam, Saki.
Saki, and we're totally jumping around, but that's what's fun.
Yeah, no, that's what's fun. That's why I love this.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to my friend Clifton Jackson, who I know is a listener to this podcast.
Hey, and I actually just talked to Clifton last night.
So I didn't have any more of like my small I guess Scotch kind of glasses to drink the sake out of. So I had to settle for coffee mugs. I actually don't know what yours is, but I grabbed this one. Cliff sent me this coffee mug years ago, and on one side it's got Boba Fett and it says, "He's no good to me, dead," and then on the other side, which I just love this so much because it's so slice of life, it's like a graphic picture of the Death Star, and it says Death Star Cantina, property of the Empire, do not remove. That's hilarious. I just love it because I love the idea of like, minus the Boba Fett parts, like, which is still cool, but it's like, is this what it's like in the cafeterias on the Death Star?
The Death Star is like, I want some coffee, man. I like the coffee cup, man. I want to take that home, man. Don't take that home, man. The Emperor's going to kill you, man. No, man. I'm going to do that, man. Man, you're just a clone, man. No, I'm a clone too, man. Fuck you, man. And yeah.
And sorry, I have to throw this in.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of my favorite things about The Force Awakens, it's just a small detail, but when it's like Hux and I think it's either Phasma or Hux and Kylo Ren arguing about shit.
Yeah.
And it's basically like I think it was Phasma because she was like pushing for like, this wouldn't be a problem if we had clone troops like I asked you to, and Hux is like, no, basically the normal organic ones are the best way to go. Basically they're just plucking children.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucked up, but I just thought that was cool that they acknowledged like not just the Clone Wars or the clone idea, but it's like they showed how it's just like there is a difference.
Yes.
Where it's just like, I don't want a bunch of mindless drones. It's like, okay, I mean, it's still fucked up, but it's cool to me because it's like they're still people. That's how they explained the different heights in all the stormtroopers in the original trilogy after they did the prequels. Is it's like they were clones, And then there's a really cool like story arc in the original Battlefront 2 video game, which basically they have to go and basically like, overthrow the Camino cloning forces because they're going rogue against the Empire. Ah. It's fucking awesome. They kind of did a version of it in the cartoon Clone Wars. But yeah, they basically have to like take them out because it's like no, we're gonna have to start recruiting people because we can't trust them.
Well, I was gonna say just Camino is fucking beautiful because I love rain. Like that whole sequence in episode 2.
Episode 2 is cool.
Spicy. It's so good. It's amazing. I like Camino. I love every freaking video game that I can play that has a Camino level is amazing. Lego Star Wars, freaking Battlefront 2.
We gotta play the new Battlefront 2 because that's a battle.
Yes, we really need to. We really need to.
And everything looks beautiful.
And like the rain sound effects and everything, the lightsabers in the rain, like it's so A+. I love it. It's super great. We're getting away from Spider-Man. We're talking about Tom Holland and the MCU, Disney, and motherfucking Sony.
So break the news to the people who probably already know, but you know.
I'm gonna do a quick like recap. Sony was like, we have the property of Spider-Man. We're trying to keep this and run this shit, make money off this shit till for fucking forever. Disney was like, hey, you a fucking hoe because you can't do shit with him. We can. We don't even want to take all of his properties from you because we ain't a bitch like that, even though they are, because fuck Disney. But they're like, let's cut some deals, man. Let's cut some sweet, sweet deals. So they're like, hey, we can use Spider-Man for several movies, and then Sony
in our universe that we've clearly established and works.
Yes, and
which you're trying to copy. We're not blaming you for.
Terrible. No, fuck you, fuck you, Sony. You can't.
No,
do
I'm
shit.
I'm not saying fuck or not fuck them. I'm just saying you can't blame them. I mean, fucking everybody's trying to do the whole cinematic.
No,
universe
eat ass,
bullshit.
bitch. You can't do shit. That's where I'm at. Sony's a dick. Sony's a piece of shit. Not that Disney's any better, but like Disney, if they're gonna do some shit, they do it well. Sony's a piece of shit. So anyways, they're like, we're going to make our own movies. So we want to use Spider-Man. And Disney's like, you can do that, but let us, be consultants on the movies and all that stuff. And Disney's like, let's talk to each other. And Sony was like, all right, cool. That's cool. You going to make us some money? And Disney was like, all right, cool. This is what we'll do. All right, let me get this right. You make a movie. We get all the merchandising money from it. And you get all the money from, like, the film. Like, you get 100% of it. The box office. We just want to come in, get that sweet, sweet cartoon money, the toy money, all that shit, and then have, like, a good storyline because we know what the fuck we're doing. And so it's like, oh, yeah, man, that's real cool.
Well, considering, like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 lost the money.
Yeah, lost a lot.
And I don't blame that on the movie being bad. I don't think the movie was bad. No. I think it was overstuffed, but I don't think it was bad. I think the problem was that they did what studio movies in the fucking 2000s did, which is they put all this stupid fucking money into not just the marketing, but all this other bullshit.
No, but then I will say, I think the movie is, I think it's a fun movie. I don't think it's good. I think it's a fun movie.
I think there's good parts
to it. There's good parts to it, but that's the problem. Sony came in with their big ass dick. Their little ass dick, and they're like, hey, we want this shit here. We want this shit here because we're going to try to do all this extra shit.
We're going to try to do a Marvel universe
Yes,
now.
But we're dumbasses when we do it. So, anyways, Spider-Man Far From Home came out, and they made a fuck ton of money. And so Disney's like, all right, let's go back to renegotiating. Let us make 50%. No. They told them because Disney financed. Because Disney financed the entire thing for like Homecoming and Far From Home, and then Sony, all they had to do was, you can have the property. We'll make the money off of everything. So Sony literally did jack shit. They had to sign
off on everything, which you're not going to say no to Kevin Feige and all those people who have figured out how the fuck this works.
So Sony's like, we don't do shit. Like, fuck you. And then Disney's like, all right, well, at least you help finance half the movie. Like, 50% of it, we'll finance 50%, and you give us 50% of the cut. You give 50% of the cut. I think that's actually pretty fucking fair.
I think that's pretty fucking fair. In terms of the first of all, the fact that they even cut a deal from the get-go.
Yes.
Is a landmark. Like, no one could have dreamed that would have happened where Sony's like, we want to include Spider-Man in the MCU. But, the fact that the way that it was negotiated, I was worried about this a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I saw videos around the time Venom came out, and Venom was very successful, and it's just like, I haven't seen the movie, I've heard it's meh.
It's very early 2000s superhero movie.
Exactly, yeah. But it's not what people thought it was going to be. But still, it's not what people thought it was going to be. It was one of those things where, from what I heard, Tom Holland's contract basically included like his Civil War cameo, the 2 Avengers appearances, the 2 Spider-Man movies that were, totally headed by, like, Kevin Feige and Marvel and Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But then he had, I think, at least one other movie on his contract that was up in the air. That he owed to Sony.
Yes,
Tom Holland. Not to Disney.
Yes, not to Disney. So his contract was signed with Sony.
Yeah.
And then...
Sony leased the character out to Disney.
Yes. So the problem that we're running into now is they were like, no, we will just do our own shit because we don't need you. And Disney's like, oh shit, that's crazy. So I've been seeing a lot of things where they were talking about, like, by Disney letting this out into, like, public knowledge it's their way of being like, this is what the people want. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
do you really want to go against what the people want?
Right.
Do
and
you
yes,
really want to
they're going. I think they're going to because Sony's a dumb piece of shit. And they're both sides are money greedy bastards.
Oh, they totally are.
Both sides. But Disney, I think, is money.
They have the creativity behind it.
They have the creativity behind it, and they are, as greedy as they are, they're like, let's do this right. Yeah. Let's take their money, but let's do it right. We're still gonna fucking take your money, but let's do it right. This is the
thing, and people will disagree probably on Star Wars, but specifically with Marvel, I feel like Bob Iger and the rest of basically the heads of Disney are smart enough to understand. Because the MCU was going.
How much control does Disney actually have in Star Wars? Because I thought it was all Lucasfilms,
which is owned by Disney.
Which is owned by Disney, but I thought like all the creative stuff goes down to
Kathleen Kennedy.
It
does in her brain trust, but basically just from what I understand with Marvel specifically in this case, is it's like they basically, because Avengers was financed by Paramount, not Disney. Like that, like they were making the first Avengers movie right when Disney bought Marvel.
Okay.
So the whole thing is, I don't know how it divided up, but basically like Disney, they made some money off of that, but basically like I know Paramount, I think, had to make their money back in terms of the budget on Avengers just because they literally financed the fucking movie. But from what I understand, or what the impression I'm getting, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Disney was smart enough that they bought Marvel at just the right time in terms of not just the movies, but the comic books, the merchandising, all that shit. They bought it all at once, and they smartly saw that Kevin Feige and his team at Marvel Studios have figured out, okay, they're clearly making these very successful blockbusters. They're making oodles of money. Mm-hmm. They're building this. They figure out a way to make the comic book experience transcend to a movie-going experience, and it's good.
Yes.
It's not just cringy bullshit. It actually works. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like they were smart enough to be like, we're going to buy that, so we want to make the money off of that, but we are not going to touch... in terms of like the creative control stuff. Because it's like, we don't understand that, but this motherfucker clearly does. Because he produced the first 2 Spider-Man movies.
Who?
That
Kevin Feige did?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I don't know if he was one of the main producers. I know he was at least an executive producer, but he's been working at Marvel for over 20 years.
Okay.
Or working with Marvel for over 20 years. So it's like, this motherfucker understands...
the characters.
Not just does he understand the comics and the characters, but he understands the business side and the filmmaking side. So it's like, why wouldn't you let him just stay in charge and just reap all the fucking money? I mean, how many box office records have the Marvel movies broken since Disney has been in full ownership of the whole thing?
Almost every single one.
I mean, because now Disney owns like at least 4 of the highest grossing movies of all time, being like Endgame, Titanic, Avatar, and Infinity War.
Yeah, I didn't know they owned Titanic.
20th Century Fox.
Oh yeah, that's
and
true.
20th Century Fox is Avatar.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So they own a fuck ton. So I'm waiting for some like legality bullshit to come into here at some point. But anyway, my thing is, it's like they were smart enough in that they were like, okay, you figured out how to do this. You do your thing. We'll give you the money, and I know they had some headbutting at the beginning because one guy, I think it's Alan Horn. I'm probably getting this wrong. Was kind of like going back and forth with Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige's like, look, I get this. Let me do this. Yeah. And then basically, like I think he was trying to ensnare like a budget limit on the Marvel movies, and it's just like, look, we are trying to be budgetarily conscious of this, but there's just some shit we need to spend more money on. They couldn't have done fucking Thanos without that fucking money. Right. And it's just like, but my point is, they're smart enough to be like, okay, we're just going to let the people who clearly have an understanding of this shit do their thing. Take control. Where Sony is just like, well, it's like, we'll do that with one movie. Oh, it made a fuck ton of money. Oh, well, let's just clearly put our dicks on side of it. Yeah. Clearly, we understand how this works, and if we make all the decisions, they think that all the money is being made because people are going just because of the characters. Like, no, they're going because they're engaging with the stories and the creativity behind it. And I think Venom was lucky in the sense that it hit at the right time with people in the right way, regardless of what the critics had to say.
Yeah, well, I will say, like, critics-wise, I don't like critics for most movies.
Yeah.
Because it's bullshit. Like, fuck them. Like, fuck you. You high-esteemed, this is art bullshit. Fuck yourself. People don't always go to the movies to see, like, the most artful piece of shit. Like, some people just want to enjoy shit.
There's a difference.
Yeah, there's very much a difference. I will say, like, Venom, it's not a great movie, but I think it's fun. It's really fun. I'm going to
watch it before we meet next.
Yeah, watch it before we meet next. I think it's a very fun movie. I think it does some really cool stuff.
Tom Hardy's great.
Tom Hardy's always great in everything that he does. But I think even there, they did some weird stuff with him. Like, in like the director or whatever, like, there's some weird stuff. Just him portraying Eddie Brock is weird. But I think people have been waiting for that movie so long that it was like, we actually finally get to see this, let's go out and support it and all that shit. It's like black people going to see fucking, what's that movie that came out last year? Superfly.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Black Panther.
Oh, no, not Black Panther. Not this time. This time I'm not griping against Black Panther. They all went to go see fucking Superfly, so we can just be reminded of how much we love to be pimps and slap hoes around when, like, that's not what we want. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. So they're like, people are like, let's go see Venom, because, like, Venom's, we finally get to see it. Like, freaking Green Lantern.
It's been in development since Spider-Man 3.
Right. Green Lantern's a terrible movie. It's god-awful, but I love it. It's super fun. It's the only iteration that we have of Green Lantern, and as shitty as the CGI effects were, like, not...
Some of the CGI was awesome.
Some of the CGI was awesome, but, like, as terrible as the suit was, like, I still enjoy it, because it's the only visual thing.
the idea behind it.
Yeah, I respect the idea behind it.
It's a construct, okay.
Yeah, but, like, that's the thing is, like... God, I lost my train of thought. It's very... No, it's not you. It wasn't you. It's just my mind's racing.
Very early 2000s.
It's very too early 2000s. It's very...
It's not too...
People just wanted to see it. Yeah. They just wanted to see the character.
It's the spectacle.
Yes, this is a spectacle. We finally get to see this thing on screen. So now, you've done that. Actually write some shit. Like, actually write some very fleshed out, cool shit.
You show me you can do it. Now show me what happens when you do a good version.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly what it is. So... with this whole Spider-Man thing is like when Sony gets their hands on it, like once if that happens, it's gonna be dog shit Jones. It's gonna be like just fucking. I have no trust behind Sony because they put their hands too much in what they're producing. They get too like, oh, that's my girlfriend. Give me my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. She can't talk to you.
Look at Amazing Spider-Man 2. Look how many like top hit artists at the time were doing songs for the soundtrack. Let me just add that these aren't songs necessarily featured in the film itself. These are playing in the credits. But it's not like they're taking a top hit song and they're putting it in the credits. Mm-hmm. They're commissioning these fucking people to do a song. I'm not hating on the music itself. Yeah. I'm just saying like the flawed logic in that to me, it's like you get somebody to do a song if you're going to feature it in like a prominent scene in the movie. You don't do, or if that's going to be the credit song, you don't get every top 40 fucking artist, like Billboard artist, to do a song just to stick in the credits. Like you're just jizzing money on fucking
well, like one of the things, like freaking Hans Zimmer did the music for Spider-Man. It's a great soundtrack,
and he partnered with Pharrell Williams. He's a composer,
and that was
too.
awesome.
I respect that.
He's a composer too, and he's actually done a lot more. I think
he's done a lot of film work.
He's been doing a lot more film work too.
He worked with Hans Zimmer on the Lion King soundtrack, and it
did he really
on the new one?
Nice.
On the new one.
Did Hans do the original?
Dude, that's what he won his Academy Award for.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And a lot of that, like he only was able to do some of that with like actual musicians. The rest of it was like keyboard instruments.
What? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Dude, go back and watch that movie. Oh, like this is the one thing I will say that's amazing about the new one. Mm-hmm. When Hans Zimmer gets to revisit this music he wrote 20 years ago, he gets to kind of add that extra oomph to it. Because he even says in interviews, he's just like, we were so rushed on time with that I had to basically, a lot of those instruments are electronic just because that's what I had to do to make the deadline. Yeah. But then now it's just like, okay, now he has the luxury of time and experience and like, oh yeah, Hans Zimmer's doing our music, and it's just like, okay, we're going to do my same piece, but I'm going to add this and this and this and make it huge.
That's phenomenal.
That was the coolest thing about seeing it in the theater was like when the big, I guess, like crescendo moments, it's like, you feel that in the original one by all means, but it's just like, there's just this extra like power behind it. It's just like, yes. Like, back, I don't know if you saw the Lone Ranger. a couple years
The
ago.
one with no, I did not.
With
But I
Johnny Depp.
love the Lone Ranger.
I
wish I saw it because I love the Lone Ranger.
It was fun. It was fun in the sense of the same like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing.
Because I used to watch the original show like as a kid.
See, I've never seen the original show, but like coming into it was like I thought it was really fun. It was too long. It was kind of dumb, but it was like again, it was a fun movie talking about like what you're mentioning. But Hans Zimmer does the Lone Ranger. He does the music in that movie.
Nice.
Originally, Jack White was going to do it, but there was a schedule. Yeah, which makes me sad. But at the same time, Hans Zimmer did it, and they do the Lone Ranger like theme.
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah. They do that whole shit at the end during this big ass train scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Hans Zimmer, so it's like it's that same theme. He's very true to that theme, but he adds just this extra like gravitas to it that just makes it like. Ooh, like
I'm gonna go listen to this in the car.
Yeah, immediately afterwards, my friend Grant and we saw the movie together. We were both just like, we gotta buy the soundtrack, at least if not the full soundtrack, that piece, because it was like it's cool when you see Hans Zimmer, he gets like a piece. And it's like he doesn't have to do all the writing, but he gets to kind of like add shit to it. And it's like ooh, the scale.
That's amazing.
You really like it.
That's amazing. All right. So yeah, that's what's going on with Spider-Man.
He did the music for Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2 because that's what I used for that the action figure. Yeah, the action figure that I did. Yeah, Electra. And then Kendrick Lamar and Alicia Keys did that one song together. That plays at the end. I love Kendrick Lamar's part. Like so you have like Hans Zimmer comes in with this like dun dun
because it's very dubstep. I thought that was an interesting way to do like electro.
Yeah, and I think that was really cool for what that character was. And Hans Zimmer doing dubstep, who would have thought? You know what I mean? But it sounds amazing. It's
perfect for him.
The entire electro suite off that soundtrack is amazing. It's like 12 minutes long. It's so good. But back to Spider-Man. Whoa, okay.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, no, just the soundtrack is great, but like that, my favorite track is not my favorite track, but one of the songs is Hans Zimmer, Alicia Keys, and Kendrick Lamar. So it starts off with Hans Zimmer, like his instrumentals, dun dun dun. Then Kendrick comes in with this like really intense rapping part, and then you have Alicia Keys comes in with like the verses and stuff.
The vocals,
and it's really fun. It's a fun song, but to that is one of the things where I'm like, you don't need to do that.
It's cool.
It's great and it's amazing. But
look at how much money has to be spent to not just get those people, but get their ass in the studio and then do all the bullshit with it. That's expensive.
Like you could have been using that to write a fucking better movie and to like edit that shit properly. Like that's what the fuck. Like fuck you, Sony.
I just like that being said, and I'm not by any means defending Sony. I was the first one to say I shared the Deadline article, which they redacted because they fucked up on a couple of things. Yeah. But basically, I immediately said like, this is why I stopped giving a shit about live action Spider-Man after Andrew Garfield. Yeah. Or something to that respect. Yeah. And it's like, this is why. But
he's getting bastardized. Like Spider-Man's bastardized as fuck.
But
he's getting passed around. Spider-Verse is amazing.
If Sony learned, which they haven't, but if they learn from Spider-Verse in the sense that it's like, we just let them do this shit because we're like, well, we're a bunch of studio suits. We don't really know how the fucking cartoon works. We're just going to let the cartoon people do it and make the money off of it. With all the awards and shit that won, I'm hoping that they're smart enough. If it is a thing where they're not going to come back to the negotiations and they're not going to try and work it out a deal with Disney, which I really hope they do.
I really hope
even though this is not my favorite incarnation of Spider-Man,
right. I would like them to finish this out. Yeah, for continuity to finish it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but if they do decide to kind of break away from that, I hope they're smart enough to basically be like whoever the creative team was for Spider-Verse, just be like, okay, this is where Disney took us. Keep going with it. Yeah. Because I think if they did that, I would have hope for it. And one thing I do want to note is Andy Serkis recently confirmed he is signed on to direct Venom 2.
Which I think is amazing.
That is...
I'm very happy.
Well, I'm thrilled, yet I'm scared at the same time. I'm thrilled at the fact that we've got, the mastermind behind Gollum, Caesar, and, the Jungle Book, and King Kong. I mean, the motherfucker is amazing. But, we get him behind the camera with, I feel like a character that really is very complimentary to who he is. The problem is Sony. Yep. And I'm afraid that, because I don't think Ruben Fleischer, who did the first one, I don't think he's a bad filmmaker. I love Zombieland. No. But it's one of those things where I'm like, but this is what happens when it's like, you go to make your movie, because they were going to make a hard R-rated movie.
And I wish they did.
And then they made them cut 45 minutes out of the movie, because they're like, no, we have to make PG-13. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
like I'm not saying Venom needs to be a necessarily bloodbath, but it's just like don't be afraid to lean into that shit.
I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm in
Dude,
for it.
Like my favorite X-Men movie was the R-rated one.
Yeah.
You know, I like
the only good one.
Yeah, I like
not the only good one, but like the best one. Yeah.
Well, because that was the movie where they just stopped giving a fuck, and they told the studio, "We're not giving a fuck. You shouldn't give a fuck either." Yeah. They didn't spend as much money, so they had to be creative.
It's just we're in a weird time. Like it's something because you told me the other night, and I was like, I had no idea about it, and like
I can't believe I was the one to break it.
Yeah, I just got really depressed because like.
On top of the game being...
On top of that fucking Conan the Barbarian stupid piece of shit video game. Good God almighty. Okay. Moment of silence. But you told me that, and my roommate was telling me right out, he was like, once Endgame comes out, like I'm done with like the Marvel universe. And like, now I am. Because there's just... It's not because of Marvel or Disney. It's just like, a lot of the characters that they're bringing up next, I don't care about. Like, I think they're cool. Shanghai, is it his name?
I don't know. And I
think he's cool. I would like to watch his movie because they're going to bring the Mandarin back. So I'm like, okay.
Are they really?
Yeah.
See, that's one of the problems I have with
I think that's good. I think that's cool because they're going to bring
the actual... They fucked up the first time.
Well, I don't think... I think that plays to... Because the Mandarin still... Apparently, he's been... Like, the Mandarin and the Ten Rings have been in multiple movies. If you look back, like they have like a breakdown, like they are still like they're actually a thing. They just use Ben Kingsley to like do that little switcheroo, and I'm excited.
I don't buy that.
Well, if you go back and watch stuff, like they look like up until
the Ten Rings are in the first Iron Man.
Yeah, but like they're even after Iron Man 3, like the Ten Rings are still around. Like they have stuff that relate to them. But I think that's good because then you have Shanghai, and if you have that be the main villain for him, I think that works, and I think that excuses it. I think that actually brings it around full circle in a really good way. To where it's like you have this dude that like does the karate shit or whatever he does, and then he fights the Ten Rings because they're Asian and shit too. Because you know you got to keep it all together because they're Asian.
I have a slight rebuttal to that / just like an alternate kind of like point.
Yeah.
I'm asking if you agree with this.
Yes.
What you just said being said. Mm-hmm. I feel like you cannot deny that the whole reason... I mean, and it's worked to their benefit. They're clearly going to do something cool with it. But you can't deny that it's like... They fucked up the first time, and they're recovering from that.
I don't know. I don't think it was a fuck up.
Well, here's what I think.
I don't think Iron Man 3 was a great movie. I think there was a lot of good stuff in it.
Let me make my point.
Yeah, make a point.
So, with Iron Man 3, the whole Mandarin thing, this is... I guarantee you what happened behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Shane Black came with his whole thing. It's just like, I want to do this whole deceitful thing with the Mandarin. You know, let's make him out to be this Bin Laden kind of like, you know, Al-Qaeda motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it's just this whole charade.
Yeah.
They probably were like, that's fucking genius. Let's do it. Yes. It came out and everybody's like, why the fuck did you fuck up the Mandarin like that? And they're like... And then they made the fucking Hail to the King, like, one shot where it's just like, okay, this is our way of, like, we're going to not necessarily take away from what the movie did, but we're going to say, like, no, we didn't do the real thing because clearly we're not stupid enough to just throw it out.
Well, then I'd say, like, I think for them to be able to come back around, I think that's even more credit to them.
Okay, well, sure, but I feel like you can't deny that clearly was just, like, that was them doing damage control.
If it is, I think it's amazing damage control. I'm not mad about the Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
I was furious. I don't even give a fuck.
Because I love, like, I used to watch Iron Man, the Iron Adventures, or the Armed Adventures off of Nickelodeon. Loved it. And, like, the Mandarin in that was fucking dope. And, like, they had, like, Iron Man go to, like, China. I think he went to some Asian country, and then he did, like, a bunch of cool stuff with, like, all
his cool. Raja Ghul fucking...
Yeah, and it was cool. It was awesome. And I love that. And so, like, I was like, the Mandarin's dope as shit. And so when that happened, I was like... There's so many other things going on. I don't need to have a Mandarin right now, and I think that's cool.
Okay, I'm going to give you an actual rebuttal.
All right.
So here's my problem with the whole Mandarin Iron Man 3 thing. Now I haven't read any of the comics. I just read the fuck out of the Wikipedia and like the YouTube videos where it's basically showing how he was basically the Joker to Iron Man. So yeah. Here's why I had a problem with it. This is like, imagine, okay, you've seen The Dark Knight,
yes,
as everybody on the fucking planet has.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine seeing The Dark Knight. Everything plays out the way... You know where I'm going with this, but I'm going to fucking say it.
I'm about to hit
you. So, you see The Dark Knight. Everything plays out the way it does. You come to find out the Joker is an actor hired by Two-Face so he can continue to make himself look like the White Knight of fucking Gotham. And Two-Face is, I am the Joker. It's fucking bullshit, and it falls apart, and it's stupid, and you would have walked out of that movie, because I would have.
That is bullshit if that were to happen. But I think that because, and this is going on a limb, I think you also have to think about, and this is sometimes where I'm kind of iffy on this, they were making that movie to be more accessible to audiences, which I think is bullshit.
The Dark Knight or Iron Man?
No, Iron Man.
Okay.
I think they're making it more accessible to audiences with that whole twist thing. I see where you're coming from.
I will acknowledge that if they did do that, if they were slick enough to make, that's their damage control, but it's that smooth, fair enough.
But I think that I'm just not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Because, I mean, like, there's so much going on. The story was about Tony. It wasn't about, like, the bad guy. It was more so about him.
But, okay.
Because I think that's where you start to get that real... Not start to, but, I think that's where, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's where they started to really focus on the stories of the characters and not just, we have to have a bad guy.
That's fair, because Iron Man 2, I think, showed where it's just like, we're trying to do the bad guy, but we're also trying to do the human story. It's just like, you gotta pick
because
the two.
I wish they did that a lot better, because the whole alcoholism,
I thought that was really downplayed.
It was uber downplayed. I would have loved to see him, like, fucking crazy as shit, alcoholic, like PTSD shit. Yeah. Like, they touched on it, but I feel like, it was definitely downplayed.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad we're in agreement that, like, if the Dark Knight had played out in the Iron Man style,
you live in these hypothetical worlds, boy.
But I'm right.
You
right.
have a point. You do have a point.
How mad would you have been? Especially if it was Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yes,
was reduced to, like, I'm just some babbling fucking tard in a fucking bed getting drunk going, ole, 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 ole.
But my point with the Ben Kingsley thing and making it accessible to audiences is Iron Man's villains weren't as mainstream. Like, his villains are not as mainstream. So that's where I think you can also get away with it.
But that was the time I feel like they could have like, instead of it being like, okay, we're gonna do Ben Kingsley and then we're gonna like, bait and switch with that. And then Guy Pearce, who I adore Guy Pearce, he's an amazing actor. Everything I've seen him in, even if I hate the fucking movie, he's amazing.
Have you seen Lockout?
Yes.
That was fun.
That's a movie where it's like, it's a ripoff of Escape from New York, but I'm okay with it because he's so fucking good at it. But, basically my main issue comes from the fact that it's like, if they're going to do the whole Mandarin thing and then turn it around where he just goes like, well, I am the Mandarin. Well, first of all, that made me cringe when I saw it opening fucking night.
I love his accent though. His accent was great.
It's not Guy Pearce. It's the fact
that
I'm
talking about what's his name?
Cheesy ass motherfucker like
Ben Kingsley's accent. I love Ben Kingsley's accent.
That I have nothing against either one of them.
I'm coming for you.
No, that was amazing.
That was great.
My problem was when they're on the fucking catwalk, Guy Pearce is glowing like he's a fucking Super Saiyan.
That was crazy.
And he goes like, I am the Mandarin. It's like, okay, no. If you're going to do that, nothing against Guy Pearce. Get some Asian motherfucker in there.
But you also have to look at it.
Let's do the actual Mandarin. Don't just be like, oh yeah, no, I'm the mastermind.
But look at it. You don't have to take it from a very specific, like a very literal, he is a Mandarin. It is.
But why'd they make such a big deal about him the fucking Mandarin?
He is the Mandarin at that time because he hired Ben Kingsley and Tony's going after Ben Kingsley thinking he is the Mandarin. So for him to say, I'm the Mandarin, I'm the Mandarin that you seek.
Neither one of them are the Mandarin.
Right, but he's saying, I'm the Mandarin that you seek. I am the Mandarin that I created that Mandarin. I'm not the real, like, I'm not the OG, like, about to kill everybody.
I just wish he wouldn't have said he was the Mandarin. Like,
I think you're taking it too literally.
I don't care. It's so goddamn Batmobile thing all over.
It is. It really is.
It's like, don't make that the thing if that's not the thing.
That's not the thing, yeah.
Like I said, I saw, I bought the fucking Blu-ray. I saw where they did the fucking one-shot. Where
I don't remember the one-shot. I don't remember most of those one-shots.
It's Justin Hammer in prison with Ben Kingsley.
Okay.
And they come to find out that, oh wait, no, the Mandarin's an actual guy and he's pissed.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, you spend that as like, okay, yeah, we try to do our whole Al-Qaeda bullshit, but we actually pissed off ISIS in the meantime.
Right.
It's like, fine, whatever, but it's just like, I just don't like when people, like, you're going to give somebody the title of, like, they're going to be that thing, and then they undercut it.
Yeah.
It's just,
I definitely get that sentiment.
Now, if they do the actual Mandarin in Shang Fu or wherever the fuck this bullshit is, and he's like the ultimate badass fucking Shinigami fucking ultimate warrior, I'm going to fucking ruin your life.
He's pretty dope. I read a comic with him and He shows up in Spider Island. He's pretty fucking cool.
If they do that, cool. I'm fine with it, and I will shut up about it. Well, I'm just saying,
you mean like Shanghai
if they do in terms of like they make him this ultimate badass who's a force to be reckoned with, fine. But it's like,
so quickly, so before you,
one thing I just want to add to it is it's just like the other reason I'm so mad about it is because they got Ben Kingsley, who's an amazing actor, but also I did like that they leaned into the whole. I know it's like the Mandarin's Asian, but then they went with the whole Osama bin Laden thing. Fine, but he was so fucking terrifying. Yeah. And then they undercut it. That's why I'm so mad. It's because Ben Kingsley's so great at playing scary.
I get that.
And it's just like...
Well, so...
It's like, I've watched the movie. It's like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with fucking Iron Man.
I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang so much.
Look up the word idiot in the dictionary. You'll find a picture of me. My gosh. No, the definition of the word idiot, which you fucking want. That's like one of my that's my feel-good movie.
I need to go back and rewatch that. It's been so long.
Can we please watch it drunk?
Yes.
Oh my god. Yes.
So, before you told me about
the
whole MCU thing with Disney and Sony,
Spidey.
There was a rumor that in the next movie, they're going to throw in She-Hulk. She-Hulk was going to be with Spider-Man in that movie, and She-Hulk was going to be his lawyer. But then they're like, the reason why they were going to do that is because at one point they wanted to use New York lawyer Matt Murdock with Spider-Man, but because of the whole Netflix thing, that wasn't going to happen.
Just use Charlie, what's his face?
Charlie Cox. Like, that would have been fucking phenomenal. So, see, that's like, that sounds heaven. Like, that sounds beautiful. Like, that would have been amazing. Like, I'm cool with She-Hulk. Like, I'm totally okay with that. But, like, I would love to see Matt Murdock with Peter Parker. Like, that'd be dope as shit.
It's like we've been waiting for that for years.
Yeah.
And especially, like, I'll admit, I haven't seen all of season 2 or season 3
I haven't
of Daredevil.
seen I've seen, like 1 or 2 episodes of season 3, and I stopped. Because it was just super slow. Like, apparently it gets really good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't have the time to watch it.
I love season 1. Season 1 was awesome.
Yeah, season's amazing.
But so I really enjoyed season 2. I want that Daredevil, and we've got Punisher right here on the fucking desk. I want all those characters to come into the thing, because they take place in the same universe. It's just like Disney's like, well, I'm not so sure about that. And I still haven't seen the single seasons of Punisher, and I just love the fact I love that they use Metallica for the trailers.
Did they really?
Oh, dude!
I don't remember the trailers. Okay, it's been a while.
Well, you got to remember, in middle school, I was a metalhead.
Oh, nice.
Specifically with like fucking Metallica was my shit. And the moment I saw that trailer, and they're using one as fucking John Bernthal as the Punisher is just gunning motherfuckers down.
Yeah.
And they got the gun. They did the Suicide Squad trailer thing where it's like the gunshots like go with like the fucking drum beats.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
I still haven't seen it, but I was jizzing my fucking pants like listening to that trailer.
It's pretty good from what I did see. The only reason I can't watch the Netflix shows anymore because they're so fucking long and they're so...
Jessica Jones is so drawn out.
I love the first season. I enjoyed the first season. It's so intense, though.
2/3 of the first season, and I was like, why isn't this 2 fucking episodes shorter?
I was going to say, it should have been 2 episodes. That's my problem with Netflix shows. It's so fucking long. I don't care about... Like, I do care about... I don't know. You
can balance it without doing that many fucking... It's a quota.
It's a lot of stories. It's a lot of stories and a lot of shit. Like, especially like within her show... Jessica Jones, and they kept going to her friend. I'm like, no one gives a fuck about this woman. Like, fuck off. Like, Jesus.
Well, my biggest issue with that season is it's just like they kept almost getting Kilgrave. He got away. It was just like they kept catching up. It was like some fucking One Piece bullshit. They finally are catching up to the motherfucker. And, oh, I have narrowly escaped.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I'm Doctor Who. I'm an evil Doctor Who. With my little TARDIS. I may escape.
But like one of the things I can say a credit to that show was like. And talking about Mark Millar and doing fucked up shit. Yeah. Like, I think they did fucked up shit with Kilgrave's character in a really good way.
But they made it work because it was storytelling.
Right, yeah. And I thought it was amazing. Like, him and his parents, like, oh, Jesus. Like, and the way he had people kill themselves, like, fuck, man. And David Tennant's,
he's an amazing actor.
I love him. He's phenomenal. I need to watch Good Omens. I really want to watch Good Omens.
I do too.
But yeah, so that's all the Marvel stuff. At the moment, I can think of...
Oh, I forgot to mention one thing about what bothered me about the post-credits thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah, you didn't... Oh, what was it?
I fucking hated that they ruined who he is.
This
is my biggest problem with the MCU Spider-Man, other than the Disney Channel bullshit, is motherfucker is walking around in both the Avengers movies with his mask off like, hey, how you doing? He might as well have a fucking, like, hello, my name is fucking Peter Parker sticker on his fucking armor.
Suit, yeah.
It's just like, that was such a big pivotal thing, not just in the fucking movies, but the comic books of, like, his life will be fucked if people know who he is, and he's just walking around like, oh god, and like that, and then at the end it's just like, oh yeah, everybody on the fucking planet knows who you are now.
So like, and I get that because that was very very weird. Yeah. Thank you. That was very I was like gonna. I I don't like it, but I want to see what they do with it. If they get him back, like I do not like it, but I want to see what they do with it. Like
That's fair.
But it's.
I'm not I'm not saying that they couldn't do some cool shit with it. No,
but I get where you're coming from, and I agree with you. Like I think it was
because it's that, and then they still have fucking yet to acknowledge Uncle Ben. And I get everybody saying.
Well, they talk about him. Like they talk about him a little bit. What type of book? What do you mean acknowledge? Like, what do you want to see?
I just want them to flat out say, I want in some fucking way for Peter to acknowledge how, because the whole thing is they put all the emotional stuff, rightfully so, but they put all this emotional stuff on him losing Tony Stark, which is wonderful.
I agree with you. I just got that. Yeah.
I just want them to, because
he lost his fucking uncle 6 months ago at the beginning of Homecoming or Civil War.
I really, because the whole thing is like in the comic books, like all the fucking comic books, at least all the ones I've read and all the ones I've been told about, all the comic books, all the previous movies, Uncle Ben is literally the catalyst that causes him to be like, I have to use these powers. I know everybody's fucking sick of with great power comes great responsibility, but it's just like that's such a catalyst for Spider-Man as a character, and I'm sick of them pussyfooting the fuck around.
I actually agree with that because I think it would have been super fucking phenomenal. That would have actually a great scene where he's like super fucked up over Tony Stark. But then, like, May comes up and touches him. Like, I don't think it's just about Tony. And then you have like the whole thing.
Yes,
that would have been amazing. And then
you do the origin story without fucking sitting on it for 15 minutes. That was my favorite fucking thing about Batman vs Superman is they got the origin story out of the way with the opening titles. There's no dialogue except his dad saying fucking Martha. Yeah. It's music. It's visuals. You see. That's the first time I ever saw in a Batman movie that they really ingrained in your brain how Bruce keeps replaying this moment in his head every single fucking day of his life and how much it fucked with him. That's why I love so much about Affleck's portrayal. He's a Batman with fucking PTSD, severe PTSD.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying fucking like Spider-Man needs to walk around like fucking like Martha. Right. You know, I'm not saying he needs to have like triggers and shit.
But he should still show emotion towards that huge event that happened to him. I agree with that.
And you know what also undercuts that even more? His bag, which was Uncle Ben's fucking bag, gets destroyed, and like when they're walking to like Aunt May picks him up at the fucking airport, and they're walking back to the cab or her car or wherever the fuck, and she's like, "Oh, where are your bags? Oh wait, yeah, they got blown up," and they just play it off and they left it off. I'm like, Uncle Ben's. I know fucking objects aren't everything, but that was Uncle Ben's bag. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, we're gonna. I'm just sick of the pussyfooting around because it's like I rewatched the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man recently, and I love how they did Uncle Ben's death in the first one of those. I liked how they did it in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I like that Peter was present for it happening in the Amazing Spider-Man, and I liked how Garfield's performance was like really reacting to that, and I liked him and Uncle Ben's same dynamic. But in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the first one, it's so. I mean, I'm getting. Choked up thinking about it. It's so heart-wrenching. And then I love like how when he's just crying like desperate. He's like Peter, and then he just fades away, and it's just like.
And I love how they bring.
And he goes for the fucking guy because he's like, no, you killed my fucking uncle, and it's like, I
love how in the third movie they bring it back around, and then he has that whole sequence with him. And it's all white. They're sitting in the car. Jesus, man.
And and this is like one of the best parts of Spider-Man 3 is like when he forgives Sandman at the end. It's so powerful.
Thank you. No, that's one of the best things about that movie.
Because he's letting it go. Yeah, and he's really letting it go, and he's doing what Uncle Ben would have done.
And then I love how even visually you have Sandman just fucking disintegrate into the wind and just go away. Like, gee, I remember watching that movie for the first time.
That was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, that and like I love Harry's whole like arc and like whenever he came
dies
back and he
fighting
dies
with Peter.
Yes, it was so beautiful. I remember crying for that. Me too.
Jesus,
that's how much I love those movies, man. Fuck.
Dude, that fucking shot of like him and Mary Jane sitting over Peter or sitting over Harry as he dies, like. Say what you will about the fucking Goblin bullshit, but just like in terms of like not just James Franco's performance, but what they did with Harry as a character. Oh my
Harry's character between those three movies are so well written.
Venom out of that movie, it's perfect.
Yes, jeez, it's because that
and the cringy fucking emo Spider-Man.
Yeah, like I even love how like after he like gets knocked out and he forgets who he was, you get to spend a lot of time with Harry and Mary Jane and Harry and Mary Jane and Peter. And
Harry figures his shit out.
Yes, and it's a really you get to see him be like what would have been if like the Goblin shit hadn't happened to any of his family. And it's such a like refreshing thing. And then he gets his memories back and he gets angry and it's. avenge me! No, avenge me! No, avenge me! Ah!
It's over the top, but like,
but
the emotional beats are great.
No, I was like, I don't think it's over the top. Like, that is a very emotional thing.
Okay,
that sequence. I'm not
shitting on that scene. It's just like,
yeah.
Well, this is. I mean, I've got my Green Goblin figure.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
I love this Green Goblin because it's like he is over the top and he's kind of that old school like 80s. Like,
but it's great.
But he's so good at it. Great. But it's so great, and also just like story wise and emotional wise, it's so. Dense.
Yeah, it is. No,
like
especially the first movie.
When he dies at the end, and he's just like, "Don't tell Harry." Like even though it's very even though it's very blunt, and he just falls over. It's still the fact that it's like the villain at the end of the day is thinking about his son.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like
no, I get that.
Give me that emotional density that like, and the thing is, they hit that in Far From Home with like, my favorite scene in the entire movie, other than all the Mysterio shit, was when he's on the plane with Happy. And he just breaks down and just goes into this crying rage. And he's just like, I miss him. And Happy goes, I miss him too.
Yeah.
That it's like, give me that. I'm not saying I'm not saying take that away from Tony at all. It's totally deserved. It's totally motivated.
Absolutely.
And the whole thing of like them, like Tony really passing the torch to him. It's so beautiful in that movie. But give me a little love for Uncle Ben. That's all I'm asking.
I get that. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you because that is such a to that character. I get that. I definitely agree with that. Damn, we need to write this fucking like I like seeing like I used to watch a bunch of indie movies where people would just get like distraught and they would just hold the camera on it and you watch it. So I would have loved a scene where he's like fucked up over Tony, but then someone's just like, I don't think it's just about Tony.
Yes,
and then, like because
that would just getting choked
up just like thinking about it because then he gets even more fucked up and that would have been a great.
It's multi-layered.
Yes, and that would have been it's like every father figure that I've had is dead. Who am I as a man? Like, that plays with so many deeper levels than this Disney Channel bullshit.
There's a great bit in the first of the Tom Holland movies where Tony goes to open the fucking thing. He thinks it's a hug. And someone made a meme. Well, they made a meme, but it's like kind of one of those like deep thinking meme kind of things. And it's just like, what if that's the first time since Uncle Ben died that Peter has thought he was getting a hug from any sort of like fatherly figure or male role model figure in his life? I'm like, see,
that's good.
The movies aren't bad. Just give me that extra layer because Spider-Man's such an emotional character. I'm not saying he needs to be like Tobey Maguire. He cry every 15 minutes.
Not at all. But like he is. It's like he's. I would say. I think this is why I connect with Peter Parker as a character more so is because he is such a lively, happy character, but he goes through a lot of shit, and there are moments where he has
persevering.
Yes, and it's him persevering, and you have to go through that stuff, and you do have those moments where you're crying, you're like super fucked up and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, he's like, all right, guys, let's get it done. But like you still like let us see that, let us see the trenches of emotion that he has to deal with,
and that it's multi-layered. It's not just about one thing because that's too simple, and that's undercutting what I feel like is so strong about Peter Parker. Is it's like I was talking to a friend about this months ago. It's like, the whole thing, he has to persevere. He doesn't have any money. He's about to be evicted by his landlord. He's not, he's failing his classes, like all this shit, but he still has to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, he still has to be that guy. And it's just like, that's what's so fucking heroic about him is he's still like, that's my favorite thing about the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 is he, I love how they showed the passage of time after Gwen dies.
I thought that was really well done.
That was the best.
Very well done.
That was like one of the most, that filmmaker-wise was one of the best parts of the movie. And then like the whole thing of him having to kind of step back up to the plate and like, I have to do this because this is who I am at the end of the day. And it's like, why, even though, everybody was pissed about like, okay, we wanted to stay and fight Rhino. It's like, it's a bookend, but it's so fucking good in the sense that it's just like, there's a little kid that shows like he's the spirit of Spider-Man. Peter comes back and he's just like, I got this. Yeah. And he's totally in it. He's carrying Gwen with him, but he's still Spider-Man's a hero, and I want to see him be a hero and not just little increments.
Well, and that's what I don't like about the
Tom
Holland. It's very incremental in like a really shitty way. Not really shitty, but like they did better in this movie, but much better. Yes. But it's still not enough for me to like be like, this is my Spider-Man.
Exactly. The most Spider-Man moment for me with him in the first movie is when all the rubble's coming down. He sees the reflection of him in the mask in the fucking puddle, and he's just being like, "Come on, Spider-Man! Come on, Spider-Man!" He's giving himself a pep talk. He's streaming tears. Tom Holland's an amazing actor.
He's a great actor. Yeah.
And he's just like, and he has to find the strength within him to push back. That's fucking Spider-Man. Yeah. And not just this bullshit of like, I'm going to do this elaborate plan. We're going to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to give her this ugly-ass fucking brooch.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's some Evil Dead bullshit. Like, no. Although, I will say, I don't acknowledge that Zendaya is Mary Jane Watson.
You're still not okay with that?
No, because it's not because of the redhead bullshit.
Oh, no, I don't care about that.
It's because it's just character-wise, that's not Mary Jane. I love that character, though. And this movie
I don't know.
made me really like her.
I like her a lot more in this movie. I didn't like her at all in the first movie.
The first movie, she was just
She's
like, why are you
bitch.
here?
Yeah, and I'm like,
The second movie,
oh my God,
she
fuck your
cares,
parent.
like when they finally like get together at the end, it's so goddamn sweet.
Yeah.
And just, I love the awkwardness between them, but it's just like, she kisses him, and then he kisses her, and then he's just like, well, I'm going to get out of here because I'm supposed to be in Germany. And she's like, I'm going to get back to the group. I'm going to carry this in case any more drones go by.
Yeah.
Like, it was so sweet. Like, that's Spider-Man romance to me, but
Yes.
it's like that. It's different character, but that's okay.
I get that. I don't know how I feel about the character. It's
that version of her I felt like was better.
yeah, I liked her especially.
They
I
gave her
liked her
some
more in the
depth.
second movie, but I don't know. I'm still very much like okay.
But
I
didn't like the shit with his buddy and the fucking.
I can't stand Nate. I fucking want him to get fucking shot and died.
I don't want him to die. I just don't want him to be in the movies.
I fucking hate Nate so much.
I didn't like the whole thing with him and the girl because I knew from the get go it's like this is going to be the summer romance and they're going to be broken up by the end of the movie. It's just like quit giving me these like I've seen this fucking high school movie bullshit before. Although I loved going back to Peter and MJ in this movie. I loved that he picks her up for the date. He's as in the whole Spider-Man garb, and I love that they basically strapped a GoPro to both of them, and they're swinging through. She's screaming the whole time.
Yeah,
and he's just like, "Come on, isn't this fun?" That was beautiful.
I did. I loved it. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do that again, and I did enjoy that. But with Nate, like, I think it also shows me how old I am. Because I'm like, this is stupid, but like I get there's kids like my little brother who are like, oh, this is cool. Like
it's a gateway, I get it.
Yeah, and like,
but why isn't that Harry? Why isn't that Harry?
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I think the way they need to do Harry is how they've done him in the video game.
I think in the video game, but I want Harry to be kind of. I enjoyed Dane DeHaan as Harry. I was really excited for Dane DeHaan as Harry in The Amazing Spider-Man because Dane DeHaan is a fucking phenomenal actor.
He is.
And like, if you get to see him unleashed as a crazy motherfucking maniac, was
Chronicle.
Oh my God, that's what I'm
Holy
saying.
fuck.
Like they fucked up on that so much because
They
like
fucked
they
up
had
on that in the last
bit of the movie.
Yes,
in the last bit of the movie because everything else leading up to that was
I didn't
great.
like what they did with Norman Osborn. And
Yeah,
I hate it
that
because
was
I love
weird.
Chris Cooper so fucking much. And
Like,
I was just,
that
when I heard
was
he was
weird.
cast as Norman Osborn, I'm like, nobody can be Willem Dafoe. I'm like, okay, he's not going to be Willem Dafoe, but Chris Cooper is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
He's going to do something cool with it.
And
It's
so, like,
he's in it for 5 minutes, like, fuck you.
What they do with Harry in the next movie, if they get to do that, I want them to do what they would have done with Dane DeHaan. Because Dane DeHaan, like, his Harry was great in terms of, like, just being fucked up and creepy and, like, he was hurting.
But he still cared about Peter.
Yeah, because he was hurting. Like, that's why he was crazy and fucked up. But there
Peter
was that
was
relationship.
Peter was his life raft.
Yeah, no, and I think that needs to carry on. But, like, I love Harry being unstable.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I remember this. I thought it was from the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon show. I don't think it was. But Harry gets Venom at some point.
I haven't seen that.
All right. I don't know. Maybe it was a dream I had. But I remember that's very heavily.
That would be great. That'd be great. If they didn't do Eddie Brock, that would have been a cool way to do Venom in the
in whatever
MCU.
iteration that I saw it in, it was really cool because they were super friends and he gets the Venom and like he starts acting up or Harry starts acting out and it's just like, oh shit. And it's really cool because you get to have, it's like the opposite of Peter but with Venom and it's his best friend. Like I thought that was awesome. So I don't know what iteration that was. If y'all know what iteration that was, please hit
drop
us
a
up.
comment.
Yeah, drop a comment on Instagram on the podcast because I need to know.
I'm gonna start posting this on YouTube.
Yeah, no, please do. I need to
If we
start
don't get
posting.
censored.
Well, I need to start posting my other stuff on YouTube. We won't get censored. We just won't get monetized.
Whatever.
Unless we do a Patreon.
Maybe. One thing I wanted to say is it's just like to add to that is it like the density of like with the whole Venom thing is it's like it's not that they did this but I loved like in Spider-Verse when like they do Spider-Gwen's like whole fucking backstory and I haven't read the comics so I don't know if I'm sure that was accurate in the comics
shit
though,
about
from what how accurate they were with pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
What I really liked is it's like they had Peter become the Lizard, and she basically defeated her best friend, and he died in the mix-up. The levels
I thought that was good. Yeah,
the dense. I mean, that's just a little bit. It's like imagine if they did Venom that way. I'm not saying don't do Eddie Brock, but if they did that with him. Oh my god! But yeah, I want Harry to be a part of things. jumping briefly to the video game, because you've beaten the game.
Yes, I've beaten the game. Do I remember it? I love the video game, but it's not that memorable for me. Like the story.
I
think it's great, story. But like I played it mostly just to swing around.
That's fair. I was doing that too, but I also was really gripped by the story.
Nice.
So do you remember the whole thing with Harry?
I know. All I know is he's out of town. He's sick, right?
Can I just like lay it out?
No, go ahead, please, because I played the game.
They say he's in Europe.
Yes.
Right? He's been like, oh yeah, I'm in Europe. He leaves like voicemails for everybody.
Wait,
turns out
he's inside the room.
He has fucking cancer.
Yes, and he's inside the water, right?
No, yeah, Osborn was trying to do all those treatments, and then they've got him in that room where I think it's either Gwen or not Gwen, Mary Jane or Peter goes in, and he's he's the fucking guy in the test tube.
Yes, he's in the test tube.
And they're doing Green Goblin with him.
But then isn't the symbiote's in there too?
I didn't see symbiote. I just saw him. He was in Green Ooze. I'm like, okay, they're doing Green Goblin.
Yes, he's in the Green Ooze.
That's cool.
But in that same room, if you like walk around and stuff, you see the symbiote. It's inside of one of the test tubes. So I hope they do that.
Either.
Yeah, I hope they do that too. That would be freaking awesome.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
I just want Harry to be Venom in some iteration, and like I want them to play with that relationship, like Spider-Man and Venom and Harry and Peter. Because I love that so many, and I love that's what I loved about Spider-Man 3 is like it's Peter and Harry, or Spider-Man and New Goblin.
Because he knows throughout the entire movie that Peter's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the movie in a very long time.
Yeah, no, that's why he like starts fucking with Mary Jane and like because there's this one GIF where it's freaking what's his name? It's freaking James Franco and he's eating pie. And that's when he's like trying to break up Mary Jane and Peter, and he's like eating the pie, and he just like, yeah, it's really good. And he like does this like creepy fucking stare into the camera, and it's amazing. It's so
It's
great.
funny because it has like a double meaning in the sense that it's like one, he's like, okay, it's probably actually really gross, but then he's also just being a fucking creep.
Yes. I'm gonna see if I can find it as we close out.
Well, let me ask you this then. In closing. The way it's looking right now is, from what I understand, especially after reading like all the updated information, Sony's official statement, Sony's clearly trying to put it on Disney. I'm seeing as it's one of those things where it's like negotiations aren't completely off the table, but they're clearly going to fight dirty now, which, you know, if that's what gets the job done, what have you.
Hey, get the job done. Fuck Sony, fuck Disney. I just want Spider-Man in the MCU.
Same. Let me ask you this. Ideally, if they were to, from what I understand, the big thing that Sony keeps hitting home is it's like, even if Kevin Feige and the MCU people aren't in charge, we're going to creatively keep going in the direction that they put us in.
They can't though.
I know, but
that's
hear me out.
Yeah.
Would you? Let me ask you this: if Sony did actually what they're saying, not fucking with it,
right,
would you go with it? If they did it well,
I'll watch it. I won't say I like it. I mean, okay. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. I'm not gonna watch the new Spider-Man movie. But I literally would have to wait and see what I would have to see it.
See what it is.
Yeah. But I literally if Sony is in control, fuck them.
Well, let me throw this out there. I'm not cheering for Sony by any means, but Tom Hardy Venom going up against Tom Holland Peter Parker. Would you watch that?
I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a shit about Spider-Man versus Venom enough to be like, I'm happy I got that over Spider-Man in the MCU with everybody else. That's not I'm not gonna jizz off to that.
I think that's the general consensus with most people.
It'll be cool because I would love to see Tom Holland and Tom Hardy go off against each other. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be better than seeing Tom Holland in the MCU to see what else he does, because we've been so invested thus far with his character build up.
That's what Sony doesn't understand.
And what is he? Who's going to take over in terms of the kind of the head Captain America or Tony Stark in the next I'm not excited about anything they've really announced. I literally don't give a shit. I'm excited
for 3 things.
I'm excited. So
Doctor Strange, because goddamn, I love the first one. It was like Indiana Jones with more magic. I'm excited for Blade, just not because I'm a huge Blade fan, but because I love Mahershala Ali, and I love the fact that he was the one who went to Marvel. Was like, I want to play Blade, this. And they're like, "Oh, of course you do.
You can do that."
And I as you can see, I've got Nad on my desk, so I want to see what they do with the Black Widow movie.
The only thing I'm excited,
I've heard it's very John Wick-esque,
really?
which makes me very excited.
Nice.
But other than that, I don't give a fuck.
The only thing I'm excited about is Captain America and Winter Falcon. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
But that's a TV show. I'm talking about movies.
Movie wise, it would. I don't give a shit about Lady Thor. Fuck her. Like, I'm excited.
I will watch it because Taika Waititi is in charge, and
I watch it for that.
Going to be a character in it. But...
I don't care about Natalie Portman's character.
Oh, fuck her.
Don't want to see her as Lady Thor. I don't know.
I want to see Fat Thor again.
Fat Thor is going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So, like...
No!
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is them trying to find Gamora. So, like, I'm down with that. It's like everybody except Gamora, they're trying to find Gamora. And it's, like... Freaking Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt together, like, hell yeah, I'm down with that.
Riffing off each other.
Yeah.
They were really funny in it.
Yeah, like, that's amazing. But, like, that's the only thing really movie-wise. Everything else, I'm like, fuck off.
Okay, I have a
Give me a Static Shock movie.
Oh, don't you end this shit on that. Don't you end this okay, fine. I'm gonna turn that around. We'll save that for later.
All right.
But what I do want to ask you is, did you see the deleted scene, the alternate Tony Stark death scene in Endgame?
No, I did not.
Okay, I might have to show you that shit.
Have you heard about the alternate, like, Thanos showing up to fight Cap?
Oh, and it's Cap's fucking severed head?
Yes.
Kevin Smith's reaction is exactly like that reaction.
God. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. That would have been amazing.
For the audience, basically, 2014 Thanos shows up in 2020,
whatever the fuck, yeah.
And basically... Cap's there. It's the same thing you saw in the movie, but instead he throws something at Cap's feet. And you don't see what it is at first, and it rolls around, and finally it stops. And Steve looks down, and it's his own severed head. Basically, he went back to 2014 and killed everybody and killed the Avengers. That would have been fucking metal amazing. As fuck.
Yes.
But the alternate ending or not alternate ending, but just the alternate, like, I guess, death scene bit for Tony Stark is basically it happens exactly how it is, but then all the Avengers take a knee. Mm-hmm. It starts, I believe, with I think it's either Black Panther or Thor.
Okay.
It immediately just kind of like drops down on one knee and just kind of like as a sign of respect. All the Avengers step down.
I have seen this.
You have. The music's amazing.
Yes,
and like
really
Captain
good.
Marvel and Doctor Strange, everybody. Even like Cap does it, and this is how amazing Chris Evans of an actor he is. As he's stepping down, he kind of hesitates. Not hesitating because he's thinking about it, but like tears are streaming down his face. He's so emotional with it. And it's just like that's basically how that ended. And I kind of wish they did that.
I would have loved a thing where, just solely because I love Civil War and the relationships between Bucky and Cap and Iron Man, and that scene where he's like, but he's my friend too. I get goosebumps whenever they're fighting, and he's like, so I thought you were a friend, and he's like, or whatever he says, and then Cap's like, but he's my friend, and then Tony's like, I was your friend. Like, that shit fucking hits, bro.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would have loved for, like, Cap to, like, walk up to me and be like, you'll always be my friend, or some shit like that. Like, oh my god,
you got a friend.
And then just play Danny Elfman singing that. Oh my god, I'm gonna. I say that I might try and edit like a "You Got a Friend in Me" like Tony Stark and Captain America. If no one else
do a
started
montage.
doing it,
just do a lovers montage.
It'd be great.
Oh, that was one funny ass thing in fucking Far From Home is how it starts with like "In Memoriam" and it's to "And I will always love you."
Yes.
Fucking Tina Turner and that shit. Like, that brings up another thing that kind of made me mad. Is it's like they did the whole fucking cartoon theme for like the Marvel credits thing, and they didn't do that in this, and it made me mad. With the credit, the post credit stuff, don't they do like a tribute to Stan Lee in the Spider-Man movie?
I don't remember, but I enjoyed that movie for real. It's fun.
It was much better than I expected.
It's far better than Far From Home, but it's still they got some shit they got to do.
Well, with that, this has been Common Sense. Your loyal Spider-Man fans.
Yeah, this has turned into like an MCU podcast, like this episode.
Yeah. What was it? So, for our listeners now, we were recording this on August 22nd. So this is just like fresh with the news and everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of things can happen in the next 2 weeks.
Hopefully, by the time you hear this, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still in the MCU.
Yes. If not, though, we will...
Fuck Sony.
If not, we will take it one step at a time as a family.
We'll just, we went through the blip together. Now, I also hate the name The Blip. Fuck that. The Snap
blip.
is...
I've seen some shit in my day, but I don't call it a goddamn blip. I went through a black hole, motherfuckers.
Damn, that was really good. Like, The Snap. We all went through this...
Why do they call it The Snap? crap.
I don't know. I guess for the people that weren't there, they call it the blip for the people that weren't there.
Well, you know what the blip actually was? So there's this fucking thing, and then I swear to God, we need it. But there's this fucking thing that happened, I think it was in the Pacific Ocean, that they called the blip. And basically, there are these underwater microphones. They basically pick up like radar kind of stuff. They're basically very like... They're not going to pick up something unless it's fucking huge.
Yeah.
They heard this random. They picked like one of these microphones picked up this like very loud blip, and they're like, "Well, it sounds like something from a fucking whale." It's just like, but here's the problem. Basically, by the way that the microphones measure sound is depending on how big something fucking is.
Yeah.
And they basically said, whatever made that sound was not a fucking whale. It's much bigger than a whale.
I think we got shit inside our oceans, bro.
I think Megalodon's still fucking around. I think some fucking prehistoric bullshit.
I think Loch Ness is a legit thing.
You think Loch Ness?
Yeah, not necessarily in that, like in the Loch Ness lake, but the concept. Hell yeah.
Well,
I think
we've explored more of the fucking moon than we have of our oceans.
Because the moon's fucking the moon, dude. The oceans. We gotta find Atlantis, bro.
Aquaman's not gonna let that happen. Okay. I've heard that Namor is gonna be the villain in fucking Black Panther 2.
I can see that if he's a villain and then he turns a good guy, because like I think if I remember correctly, they're generally like at odds until they join the Illuminati.
Well, after seeing Aquaman, I'm like, if they want to do Namor, go fucking hell.
I want do Namor, do Black Panther. We killed Iron Man, but bring in what's his name, freaking Mr. Fantastic. When you get Xavier, get him in, and then I want to see the Illuminati.
I saw a rumor that they're already planning for the X-Men shit. Basically, in the next Avengers movie is when Wolverine's gonna pop up.
Okay. And
also, from what I don't know if this is total bullshit or not, but they've also said that basically Deadpool's going to make his debut in the next Avengers in terms of the MCU shit.
Nice.
And the whole thing is when he's with like the Avengers and like in the team up movies, he's going to be PG-13.
Yeah, which is totally fine.
But then when he's on his own, it's totally going to be like R-rated.
Which is great.
And they're trying to extend Ryan Reynolds' contract, which makes me very
happy. I think that's also awesome because whenever he gets into the PG-13, he can literally pop up and be like, "Hey guys," and like he'll talk to them, and he'll turn the camera and be like, "So it's not going to be full like Deadpool right now because
never go full retard."
Yeah, he could do something like that. It's just like you all know what's going on here. Like
this is
he's
like, eyebrows. This is a family movie.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be just like this is a family friendly movie. You can go pick up my film, like something like that would be amazing.
What I want him to do in the next Deadpool, and this is what the internet's been saying for months, is it's like two things. One, I want Deadpool to take place of the Stan Lee cameos in the sense that it's like he comes in, but he's like wearing glasses and a mustache, and he does the Stan Lee impression. But also, what I want them to do with the next standalone Deadpool is like he pops up and like the whole first 5 minutes is him with a fucking whiteboard explaining the Fox Disney merger.
Oh snap! That would be great. That would be great,
and especially with this Sony shit. That would just be more fuel.
And then and then he could just like make like 1800, like he could be like, so and so, unlike Sony happened, like I still get to do whatever I fucking want to, suck my fat dick, like that.
My fat red mutant dick.
Nice.
Well,
we just fixed the Marvel universe.
We can solve a lot of problems. I'm not saying we should get into politics. I'm just saying, we solve problems.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I'm Jeremiah.
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at ParkourGeek, ParkourG33K. I've been on hiatus with my other podcast, Perspectives, with Jeremiah Stevenson.
Which you better finish.
I am. I'm definitely... 24 episodes this year. I'm recording 2 episodes this week.
I get to be one of them, right?
You will definitely be one of them. I think I've lined up my next 3 or 4 people. I'm going to throw you in there in between that because I basically filled up, next month and October. But I'm not necessarily holding those people to it. I was just like, this should be the time frame. Let's shoot for you, into September.
Fuck you.
With who I have now. I don't even know who I have for September. But I'll throw you in September. I don't mean throw you in like, oh, I don't want you on the podcast.
I'm an afterthought. I see how it is. I see what kind of friends we really
because I still need to get Lane too. And I think I'm going to get Lane around November.
You see, he wants to hear what we have to say, but he doesn't want to have to do the work to get it. I see how it is. We reach for the stars, but you don't. That's a personal fault with you. You need to buy Lincoln.
I'm going to go buy Lincoln now. You can also find me on YouTube.
Buy Lincoln. Oh, yeah. YouTube. Yeah. What's the link, my
friend? A tokens take, ATOKENS. Oh, I'm sorry, EN apostrophe S, TAKE. I'm going to start doing some YouTube stuff. soon.
We're gonna be doing some.
We're gonna be
stuff.
we really need to get into that.
Game.
No, we really do. Because I'm getting the process of like getting my streaming shit set up. Because I'm gonna start streaming just a little bit, not much. Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing art streams soon.
Ooh, dude, for real?
I'll plug my Twitch when that's the right time.
Nice.
But for now, you can find me on Instagram at Art of Matthew, and you can find me on Twitter at The Art of Matthew, and we can talk about space and travel and wormholes and all the fun stuff right here on Common Sense.
The following audio presentation is property of Lake House Creative, LLC. Any reference to copyrighted works is for review and commentary purposes only.